Hello, you're listening to the Eric McKenna Project. Are you ready?
McKenna Project. More shenanigans on the way. Maybe this time I will answer Eric's questions. Maybe. We've got some Red Stripe, couple bottles of vodka, some popcorn, voodoo chips and some Red Stripe. I don't know if you caught that the first time. I've got some angry koalas hanging around and the swear jar is empty. Here we go.
That's great.
Illumination, like everybody else would say, illumination. It's all illuminated. How else would you say illumination? There's only one way to say illumination. It's illumination. That means something's lit up. It's illuminated.
It's illuminated.
Not to be not to be confused with a can. That's aluminum.
Yeah.
Aluminium. Not to be confused with a can. That's aluminium. What?
Here we go.
And here we go.
And here we go. I'm just going to say everything in that voice today.
No, you're not. Well, friends, we're here. This is going to be podcast number 4, but basically part 2 for Sir Freddy Kowalo. He is back in black again, I might say. I'm actually a little
I have
more
6
casual.
of the same shirts. I actually do. I have 6 black ones, 6 white ones.
You're a guitar technician, of course you do.
You know, it's how it is.
Well, thank you for coming back, my friend. This is going to be good. Our first episode was certainly awesome. Would be an understatement. It was long. It was a comedy show, which is what we expected. And the funny thing was, friends, when I went through the editing and was working with Cassidy, our editor-in-chief, we realized that, and I knew that it was going to be, when I say long-form conversation, Fred, it was going to be a long-form conversation. How could it not be? But,
is it ever short with
no,
me?
But I think that we covered so many funny anecdotes and stories that I ended up not getting to most of the things I wanted to ask you about. So
Yeah, we didn't.
Fred's come back today, and we're doing this. This show's a little different, where the last show was pretty much a free-for-all. Today we're doing it with a little more, finesse, a little more pizzazz, a little more sober as well. This is going to be an actually informative show today.
Oh yeah, I've decided to look. I've only brought a couple cents with me for the swear jar. I mean, it's what I had on the floor of my car. Yeah, so we got so I really got to watch it today, and. Oh wow, that's an old nickel there.
Yeah.
But so I really got to watch it. I don't want to lose my old nickel.
Okay. So we're gonna go right at it here. For those who do not know Fred, I will preface this like I did the prior show. Freddy Kowalo is a lifetime native of Pittsburgh. He has worked in film. He's worked extensively in film. He has worked in music, both from a performance standpoint, and is probably best known as, I like to say, guitar tech to the stars. He hates that, but he has been a guitar technician for some of rock and roll's most prominent guitar players, and he has worked for some of the most prominent rock bands in the last 20 plus years. And he's also was very instrumental with Boogie Street. He's been a personal friend of mine for a long, long time, which makes the conversation relaxed in one regard. But I have to also make sure we get the content in, because if not, we'll be off the rails talking about things that are just pure comedy. But what I'd like to talk about today is a little more of the ins and outs of what you do, Fred, and in regards to your job as a guitar tech for these bands, your work in film, your work in production, and just the enjoyment of it all, but also the frustrations and what it's like life on the road. Almost, what would you say, 11 out of 12 months a year sometimes?
Yeah, more. It's about maybe 9, 10.
Okay.
I get a couple of minutes to myself.
Yeah, exactly right. But what we didn't touch on was you're a big movie buff, and you have been. And yeah, I'm just taking this on a big U-turn here, aren't I?
Oh man.
Yeah. So you've had the opportunity. Well, you're big. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're a big horror film buff.
Oh yeah.
Going all the way back to the old classic stuff.
I do like the old.
In
classic.
The era of Chilly Billy and the rest of them.
Yeah, I remember Chilly Billy.
Okay, so Night of the Living Dead.
Yes. And
you had a role in that movie, right?
Well, yes.
Was that the first movie that you obviously you had love for movies, and you basically, anytime there was any kind of part available, you obviously went for it. When you were younger, am I right?
Yeah. I was an actor I've been an actor since 1979.
He was only 37 then.
Yeah, right. But I was about I was like 10 years old when I joined the after union, you know.
Right.
And so I used to do TV commercials here around town. I used to be a model. I don't know if you guys know that, but yeah.
Really? See, I didn't even know that.
I was a model. I was the guy that you saw on your Sears commercials and your.
Really?
Oh yeah, that was me. And we shot him up at it was WIIC at the time.
Like tough skin jeans and things like that.
Garanimals, yeah, you know, Garanimals. I did the Garanimals, and so I was actually lucky enough to be on the Chiller Theater set.
Really?
As a kid, and it was awesome. And they showed, you know what, those eyes that follow you on the painting.
Chili
they really
Billy.
don't. They really don't move by themselves. You have a string behind there. And I always thought, you know, that wow, that painting is following me with his eyes. No, it's just just joking.
Chili Billy Cardilli.
Yeah, but it was awesome, man, to be for me to be a kid on that set. And the thing with Night of the Living Dead is I remember my dad. I don't know if you could count this as child abuse or whatever, but maybe like Halloween night, you know, midnight, and my dad would come wake. I'm like 6 years old. He's like, "It's on. You got to watch this." And it's like, you know, you get up, you go downstairs.
It was the original.
Oh, it was the original one.
Yeah.
Scared the living crap out of me.
Right,
Look, I went for the money.
Right.
I went. I pulled it back,
right.
but it scared the living crap out of me, and it stuck with me all my life. And the other, like, I was doing just to go off track. I was doing a TV show up in Evans City the other day, up by Evans City, and like literally stopped at the cemetery where it was. Went and found all like the tombstones.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's on my Instagram. Go look at it. It's on there. But you know, I'm like posing with the tombstones the way they did in the movie, you know, just like silly stuff, you know, but it's still there, and it's really cool. But yeah, so my dad would wake me up and he'd be like, "Hey man, it's on," you know, and it's just like, "Nah, okay," you know, it's like, you know, and at like 6, I'd already seen it like, you know, 5 times, you know, and I was
It's not scary anymore
because it only came on one time a year,
right?
And it was Halloween, you know,
right?
And so it's on. So you know, you go down there and watch it, and then you know, I fall asleep. But
was it George Romero? Then was it a remake?
The one I did in 1990, I did as an internship in school, and it was a remake
Of the original.
Of the original, but it was all the original players. You know, I mean,
had a bit roll in there.
It
so
had
they were aged.
It had Russ Striner, who I worked for, Russ and Laurie Striner at the time. George Romero was there, John Russo, and then Tom Savini, the makeup great guy. He directed it.
Fun fact. Tom Savini, this famous makeup guy, the makeup guru, his brother lived in Coriopolis right up the road from where we are now, and I went to school with knew the family well.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, so it was just a coincidence. Knew the Savini family very well.
He's a really nice cat too, man. He's a good guy. Really, really good guy.
Talented.
Yes, very. You know, and heck,
Think about his nightmares.
Yeah, right. I actually saw him not too long ago to like a WWE event or something like that. He was backstage or whatever. And it's like, that's awesome. You know, I was going to go over and be a cheese ball, but I was.
So it was 1990 they did it, right?
Yeah, it was 1990. I was still in college.
Was there cameos from newscasters in Pittsburgh and all that? I can't remember. Did they go get a couple of the Pittsburgh newscasters?
I imagine they did. You know what? I got to be honest with you. I haven't watched it in a while.
Yeah.
Cardill was Bill Cardill probably reprised his thing, because I know Russ is the sheriff, but we're gonna have to look that up.
We will make a note of that.
Make a note. We're gonna look up and see if Bill Cardill's, and I believe he did.
So from there, like, what was the next thing you did? Obviously, I've seen you for the years I've known you've been in commercials, and there's been motorcycles, there's been all kinds of craziness that have gone there. But what did you do? What was after that? Or now, when did you start working actually for the working on films, in terms of not the acting part, but in support of the films?
That came,
you know, the gaffer or the best boy. Still don't know what the hell those are, but that's the credits of every movie.
I'm just a normal electrician.
Okay,
but probably around 2008 is when I started working on films around here. No, I take that back. What am I saying? Wow.
Yeah, I think you jumped ahead a little bit.
I joined the union in 2008 is what I did.
Okay.
But I right out of school, I did like Lorenzo's Oil and stuff like that.
Okay.
I was a grip on that. And that was 91, 92.
What about the movie that Bruce Willis made Down the River there?
No, I didn't do any of that.
Early 90s.
I didn't do any of that. I wish the Three Rivers. Had I known, like a lot of my friends did, and I don't know why I didn't do it.
Let me ask you this. So let's fast forward a bit. So we've covered the time in Black Label, and we can definitely get into that. We will to a certain degree, but let's really talk about the movie Rockstar. And yeah, let's talk about that, because I think a lot of people that see you out and about, they know you from that movie.
Yeah, but they don't know where they know me from, and that's the best thing. It's like, I know you from somewhere. No, you don't. And I do it all the time. It's just like, I know you from somewhere. You know what's great about that is I get recognized in the weirdest places. You know, I was at a truck stop in Toledo, standing in line for like...
Who could forget a truck stop in Toledo?
I'm like standing there, and this guy goes, "Hey, man, are you the guy from Rockstar?" Yeah, and it got to the point where people were like, "Do you pay people to come up and say that to you?" I'm like, "No." I was at twice. Twice it happened. I was at a water park in Sandusky, Ohio. Figure I'm soaking wet. I look like a drowned rat. I'm riding slides. I'm sitting there, and this woman comes up and she goes, "Excuse me." I never forget a face. "Are you the guy from Rockstar?" And I'm like, "Why, yes, I am." And people, my family's with them. They're going, "Oh my God, I can't believe this." And
that movie was, I thought, pretty darn good. If you like rock and roll,
it was.
But 9/11 really kind of killed. Am I right? The timing, is that right? The timing of it all.
So we wait forever we did this movie in
2000. Right?
We started it in January of 2000. We finished it in June of 2000, and we're waiting for these release dates for it to come out.
What was the delay?
Timing, I guess. I don't know. They shot 3 different versions of the movie. Okay, so what's great about it is they made like a love story. They made like a rock and roll
ending,
ending, and they made like a behind the music kind of comedy kind of thing,
Okay.
And
are any of those available now for viewing?
When they did, well, they shot the love story, but they shot like three hours worth of film.
Okay.
For an hour and a half movie. So there's like a whole other movie that's out there.
Okay.
So, 9/11 comes along, and this was awesome. Well, not awesome.
No,
but
9/11 was not awesome.
What was awesome for me at the time, but not 9/11, was I was in 2 movies at the same time in the same theater, and the posters were side by side.
That's crazy.
And this is, again, you don't have cell phones at the time where I could take a picture like a selfie, because of course it'd be on Instagram. I'd be like posting it, selfie of me between the posters, and I thought, this is the greatest. What
was the other movie?
Bandits with Bruce Willis.
Really?
Bruce Willis and whatever, Billy Bob Thornton.
Okay.
And so I was in that, and I'm just like, this is so cool. I'm into, and then that's like on a Monday, and then like 9/11's like on a Tuesday, and it's just like, nobody's going to the movies.
Well, and if that movie had been released at any other time, when it could have stayed in the consciousness of the country,
but nobody was
a
really,
much bigger movie, right?
Yeah,
right.
It was kind of kind of put a damper on things.
Yeah, well, a lot of things for sure, but. The making of that movie, there's a lot of stories that came out of that, at least in the circles that I run in. And I've had over the years of being in the music and / guitar business, people would, especially when you're on the road, they would be afraid to contact you, and they'd ask me questions. So I heard this crazy story about Fred when he was making that movie. Like someone told me he rented this convertible Corvette, and he was racing up Sunset Strip and wrecked it and walked away from the whole thing, and and I'm like, I don't think so. But you've heard that rumor before?
I've heard it. I know where it comes from. It was not me.
Let's clarify that.
I was in the car behind
there. And what kind of car was it?
It was like a Toyota or something, I think. So it's really not a
See how reality just brings everything back down.
And we were down there drinking on we would go to if I'm not mistaken, well, it had to be because wrestling was in town, because Jim Dodson was in town. It was Jim hanging out, and we were going back up to my place up in the Oakwoods, up over by Warner Brothers in Hollywood. And so we're taking some people back to the house and that, and these people had it. And me and Jim are in the car. And
the Toyota.
The Toyota. And my friends were with this girl who got this Corvette. And next thing you know, they just go flying past us up the road. And they smash into like a pickup truck. And they just keep going. And it's just like,
and somehow you've been attached to that story.
Oh yeah, because well, it's funny because like me and Jim are like sitting behind and going, "Did you just see that?" And then we get there,
and you knew the people.
Oh yeah, we knew the people, and it's like, you hit that truck, right? And they're like, "What truck?" And they're it's like, it's like you hit it, right? And it's just like, what truck? And it's just like, okay. So yeah, so it was, but no, it was not me, but I was the witness to it. I'm like, please, nobody call me in to be a witness for this because I don't want to be involved.
Did they rear end the vehicle?
No, they smacked each other. And here's the thing about California: you probably didn't have insurance anyway. Nobody has insurance. Nobody cares. Just go away.
Wouldn't a vet just like crumble its fiberglass?
Oh, dude, yeah, it was all scuffed up. There's like they took it. It's made out of fiberglass, and it's just like you're missing the whole side of your car up there. No, I'm not.
Was it a rental?
Yeah, it was a rental.
Oh,
somebody had a rental, and it's like you're missing that.
So you're on this set with obviously Zakk Wylde and Jeff Pilson, and it goes on, and obviously the main leads in there are, correct me if I'm wrong, it was Mark Wahlberg, and it was Jennifer Aniston.
Yep.
What's your thoughts on those two? The time you spent with them?
Oh, they're awesome. I can't say enough good things about them. Genuine people, sweethearts, both of them.
And Brad Pitt was hanging around too at the time.
Yeah, because he was dating Jen at the time. I met him too, and he was a sweetheart as well. I mean, and again, I'm from Cecil. There's no stoplights.
From Cecil.
No stoplights in my town, and here I am thrust in Hollywood. And I'm like going, you've got to be kidding me, man. I was like, all the people that I meet, it's just, and here I am like,
that movie was transformational in a couple ways. Naturally, Zakk Wylde, the guitar player from Ozzy Osbourne, started his own band called the Black Label Society in the mid-90s. And it had a different kind of look and vibe and feel. And then after that movie, Zakk obviously being in the movie, something happened.
Oh yeah, there's a deleted scene. Like I said, they shot like 3 hours worth of film, and there's a deleted scene of what happened to him now. And this was for the behind the music, kind of version that they were coming out with.
That was a thing back then, right? VH1 behind the music.
So, but the rocker Zakk, if we had like, look, I'm scruffy right now. This is all the scruffier I got with Black Label, and Zakk, he'd maybe get a little bit more, but one of the funny things is they were trying to find looks for us, and so on and so forth, and
for the movie,
and so we would have to go in for like the different hair pieces and stuff. Like, of course, I didn't need anything.
Hair pieces.
Yeah. So check it out. Well, I'm gonna get off subject here real quick, and then it'll all tie in together. So one of the funny things with Rockstar is, they're going down the line, and Zakk did not shower very often. He was not fond of shower, and
I heard
what he had said to me one time is, "Dude, you ever try drinking a beer in a shower? It waters it down." So it's so he wouldn't take he wouldn't take a shower because it watered his beer down. I'm being so good. Look at that. I still have the money there.
I love that.
But so he went in to get a look because he's obviously not Zakk Wylde. He's playing this character Goad. And
Goad was the name of the movie.
Goad was
his character in the movie.
And so what they did was they're showing him all these pictures. Now I'm going to have to get some money out, but
because you're paraphrasing Zakk Wylde.
I'm going to be Zakk because it's just not funny if it's not. So we're sitting there, and of course I'm with him. We're inseparable, and they're like going through these magazines, and they're like, okay, what about this? And it's like a picture of Nikki Sixx with his hair up. He's like, gay, no, can't use it, no, he looks, no. And go to the next one, it's like Vince Neil, no. They're it's going down the line. It's all these big hair things. She's like, no. And figure he's, at the time, he got to be about 32 or whatever. And he
went through that era. He already went through the hair.
So they're going down the line, and the woman goes to him, and there's a lot of profanity being thrown around. These are good Christian women, all right? You know what I mean? And no, and I'm being good. I'm leaving that money on the table because that's all the money I have.
You're doing great.
And so it gets down to it, and they open up to a picture of an 18-year-old Zakk with Ozzy. And the woman goes, now this look is you. And he goes, it is me. And she goes, I'm glad you agree. We're just going to cut your hair. And he's like, fuck that. You're not cutting anything. He goes, but it's you. He goes, it is me. When I was 18, that's me. And she goes,
that's awesome.
And she like looks at him, and it's just like,
that's great.
Oh, what happened?
What happened? What happened?
Zakk and I would get drunk when we go down on Sunset Strip, and we would go looking for Fred Durst because Zakk was convinced that this is during Rockstar. Zakk was convinced that he killed music. Limp Bizkit killed metal music, and we would go sit at these places, and it'd be like me and
Fred, did he?
And it'd be like it'd be like me and Zakk, like after working all day or drinking all day on the movie set, and we'd end up like places like, it's not there anymore, I don't think, Dublin's or whatever, where Fred Durst used to hang out, and we'd sit there and we'd wait for him. Dude, he's got to come in sometime. I think he's on tour. Dude, he's got to come in sometime. I know. And these women in Hollywood just would torture me. And Zakk, they're like, you guys are kind of gross. It's like, you guys probably shouldn't, go out in public. It's like, dude, we're here to kick. What are you guys even doing here? We're here to kick Fred Durst's ass. They're on tour, right? I don't care. He's got to come in sometime. So I mean, that's the kind of like people on the street were telling us we were gross. You know what I mean? And here's me. I shower like every day, like several times a day, and I was still gross to the people in Hollywood. So being with Zakk made it even worse. So we go and we do this deleted scene.
Okay.
And he and I are...
Is it the deleted scene for the ending of the movie?
It's for the ending of the movie.
Okay.
And what they had was like, we were trying to be Black Label, and at the time we just didn't shower. That was
so that was like his thing.
So that's as bad boy as we got.
Okay.
We had our jackets at the time. At the time, mine was I think I got this jean jacket in school, like in junior high, and it didn't fit anymore, so we cut the sleeves off. And over the years, it had faded from like a blue jean jacket to like a baby blue, so it's like real baby blue. And
cute.
They would always try to, like out on tour, they'd always try to get me away from my jacket so they could, because it was clean.
Right.
You know what? I'm clean. I like to be clean. I have 6 of the same shirts.
I'm not a Viking like the rest of you.
I have 6 of the same shirts, and yes, I will swap them out. You know what I mean? And but it looks like I'm wearing the same thing all the time. So, but they would try to get me to out of my vest, and I would never give it. And I still remember where we were in West Virginia, and we were down in Charleston. And I was inside the venue, and in my mind's eye,
right,
I hear, help me. And I look, and I don't have my vest on. And I went running out in this parking lot, and there he is. He's got a spray can of hairspray or whatever, and he's spraying his jacket like with flames and shit like that. And a can of spray paint, and they spray painted my beloved original baby blue Black Label vest with little, I mean, it's not black.
You still have it?
Oh, I got it. Of course I got it, man. I'm not going to give up my colors. And but that's the original one. That's the one that's on the next album cover.
Right.
It's the Dogs have it on, and I have it on that. So it was all pretty cool.
But basically, that's where the image came from.
That's where the
Black Label Society band.
Exactly. So here's from my baby blue vest, to we need a better look. They have this deleted scene in the movie. Now, I know it's taken me a long time to get here, but that kind of like prefaces everything. And they give him a fake beard because he goes off to the mountains and disappears, and this is the last known photo of him, and he's got this fake beard. And he's like, dude, this is the look. This is what we're going for. And I'm like, really? Man, all right, I'll grow a beard, you know? So I start growing this beard. And we actually like went to Japan and stuff like that. We grew beards and came home, and I had some time off. And
his whole demeanor changed. I mean,
yeah.
He became a Viking.
He became a Viking. We looked like Vikings. And so I was walking down the street in Pittsburgh, and I'm like, la da 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 da. And I knew that they were in town, and I'm like, you know what? I got to shave his beard off because I know Zakk did not keep his beard. You know, he's got that cute little dimple chin.
From the 80s.
From the 80s. Cute little dimple chin. And I'm like, I know that by now, the beard's driven him nuts, and
he shaved
it off. So I'm walking down the street, and he's walking down this way. We run into each other by chance. And it's just like,
What's up?
Where's your beard? And so I had to explain to him that I didn't think he was going to keep it. And then there are.
Well, how did you get them from that point then to start working with the band? How'd that happen?
Oh, you mean because I'd already been working with the band, and after I had a newborn. You know, what I mean, she was like a year or two old, and
so for that first BLS tour, you didn't go out with them. You weren't.
Oh, I went. Yeah, okay. I was there. I was there all the way through Rockstar.
But you said you ran into Zakk, so you weren't with the band.
No. I was home because my daughter was home.
Sure.
You know.
Sure.
I was single dad. You know.
Right.
Trying to and I took the time off.
Right.
And like literally, I wanted to be there, but you know, I had to come home.
Sure.
And so yeah, I was walking down the street. So again, this is back in the day of FedEx plane tickets. It wasn't like we had like electronic plane tickets where you could just, you know, go online. The internet was, you know, Al Gore hadn't invented it yet. So
it was invented. They just weren't doing e-tickets.
Yeah, they just weren't doing e-tickets. And so I just remember Zakk that day going, "You coming back?" I'm like, "No. You know, I'm not coming back." I remember like a month and a half, 2 months later goes by, and the phone rings, and let me get some money, and I pick up the phone, and there's not even a cell phone. It's a house phone, you know,
landline. Yes.
And
yes.
On the other end of the line goes, "Vacation's over, motherfucker. Your tickets should be there anytime. See you tomorrow." And I'm like, "What?" And he hangs up, and I'm like, they're like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "I think it was Zakk." Ding dong. FedEx guy at the thing. Open up the envelope. Plane ticket to Houston.
So you're meeting him. Is that the first stop of the tour?
Yeah, no, they'd been going on. He had gone through like 3 texts in a month and a half. They lost his bullseye guitar.
What?
People were calling me up going, "How do you deal with him?" And I'm like, "Dude, he's the easiest guy in the world to deal with, you know.
Just do your job.
Just do your job." And then that's how I got back with him. And then I was with him for the next maybe 4.5 years or whatever.
Yeah.
So I left in 2005. Went off and did Shinedown. Well, actually, I retired again.
Yeah. I heard that retirement story. I do remember that. And the next thing I know, I'm going out with this band Shinedown. I'm like,
everybody and their brother. It seems like every time I get like a band back home to play, it's like, you know, I could go on the road at any time. No, let's just play, man, you know, and if it happens, it happens.
Right.
And then I'd start playing with this band, and it's like, "Hey, our first show's this Saturday." "Yeah, I've got to go. Sorry, guys, I got called out on tour." And it's just like, everybody gets like so mad at me, you know. It's just like, so you can never have like a band or a normal relationship because, you know, you're going away.
You're gone. How did the Shinedown gig happen for you?
You know what's...
Do you remember?
Oh, yeah, I remember. Zakk had, and this is the irony of ironies. Zakk, we were in Jacksonville, Florida, and we had a band called Nefarian. open up for us. And it turns out it was Jasin Todd from Shinedown and a bunch of his friends.
It was a side project for him?
No, this is before he was famous.
Oh.
And he said to me one time, he goes, well, when we were down there, he goes, hey, man, that's how you talk. Yeah, this is how you talk. He says, hey, man, if I ever become famous, will you be my guitar tech? And I'm like, sure, kid. Keep the number. Because now we had cell phones. It wasn't, I mean, we used to have those brick cell phones. Now we had like normal flip phones. Yeah, yeah. So I said, yeah, kid, keep the number, you know? Oh, man, I will. And he had called me like a couple times during my retirement. And he goes, hey, man, I need a guitar tech. And I'm like, ah, kid, you know, I'm done. I'm done, you know. And he called me again. He goes, hey, man, I'm done. You know, you said to call you when I needed somebody. I'm like, dude, you know, I'm done. Then he calls me up one day and goes, I just sold 1.25 million records, and I need somebody, you know, immediately, you know, coming up. And I'm like, kid.
The Shinedown was off your radar then, really, right?
Yeah. I mean, I went to see him. I went to see him when they play Pittsburgh, and they'd play to like 12 people, you know, at this non-existent club that's down there anymore, down in the South Side. Right. And I remember we got Permanis and stuff like that. And, you know, it's just, you know, I totally loved them. I loved them all. I love Brad. I love Brad. I love Barry and you know, and Jason, of course.
And it just happened for them.
And then they just, you know, but that's the thing. That's how you have to, you stay out there and you keep plugging away. You got to keep plugging away. You got to keep touring. And that's what they did. And
takes a little luck though too, doesn't it?
Yeah. But it takes a lot of talent. And they had that original band, not knocking Eric or Zakk Myers. You know, the original band to me, that's, you know, that's Shinedown. And to work with those guys was amazing. It was a dream.
How different was let's say going from working for Zakk to going and working for Jasin? What differences?
I do have some money in my pocket, but you know, it was just different because
crowds were a little different.
Yeah. I mean,
with Black Label Society. These aren't my words. This was a description that was given to me by somebody who will rename, and it wasn't you. They will rename nameless. He basically described often when he would look out to the crowd at a Black Label show, he said it would look like the fight scene from the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how the fan base or the concert attending public for a Black Label show was described. And when I finally went to one and I photographed and I was in the pit and I turned around and looked for myself, I had to agree.
Oh yeah.
I had to agree.
It you know, it was a difference because you got to realize we were playing like Ozfest and we're doing double duty and we're on, you know.
Well, let's talk about that. When you were with Ozzy, excuse me, when you were with Zakk, when Zakk would go out with Ozzy, he'd take you right along. So you've done Ozzy tours as well.
Oh yeah, we did Ozzy and you know, Black Label. Some days we did Black Label, and then a couple hours later do Ozzy again.
That had to be exhausting for everybody involved.
I think you can find the pictures of me on the internet, like sleeping, like with guitars all over me, just string packages everywhere, because I was doing Zakk and Nick, and then I was doing Zakk with Ozzy, and Zakk had acidic sweat, and if he touched the guitar one time, it was done.
You had to change strings?
No, I had to change the strings, and you know, and then he played on the bus, and then I'd have to change them again, you know. But you know, so you're looking out there, and you're playing Ozfest, and it's sold out shows, and it's, you know, it's crazy, and blah blah blah. And I went to the Shiners, and you know, we're playing smaller clubs, maybe
at that time.
Yeah, you know, like theaters and stuff like that.
House of Blues.
House of Blues kind of. I was just going to say House of Blues kind of things, and it was just different. But you know what? It was a camaraderie. You know, whereas Black Label was a gang of Vikings. You know, these cats,
caravan going from city to city.
Yeah, these guys. You know, I totally.
Which was easier? It's a tough one, isn't it?
That's a real tough one. That's a real tough one. Each had their own.
Here we go.
Each had their own.
You knew there was going to be an out somewhere.
Pleasantries.
Yes.
I I enjoyed both. I enjoyed both. Just like any proud parent, I'm not going to pick one child over the other. I love you all equally, you know. So, but yeah, I mean, they all had their own little thing, and I had a blast. I stayed with Shinedown for like 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm. And then you came back for a while, and I heard the retirement talk again. And then the next thing I know, hey, Eric, I think I'm going to go out with Alice in Chains.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, wait, Jerry Cantrell, Alice in Chains? I'm like, do you know any other Alice in Chains? So that was a return to heavier music.
Yeah. And the early Shinedown was heavy.
It was.
And,
it was.
But yeah, going to Alice in Chains and going with Mike.
Going back to Mike INXS.
Yo.
You had also, he was also in Black Label Society as the bass player in the beginning, right?
Yep. And I always loved Mikey, and it was awesome, man. We had I had a nice run with that about 2 years, and then I came home.
So we're not going to gloss over the Alice in Chains there, because that was obviously. They had replaced Lane Staley, the deceased Lane Staley.
William, yeah.
With William. What's William's last name?
Duvall.
Yeah, what a great voice on that guy. And how did that go? How were the fans? The shows looked like they sold well. Did the fans accept him?
Oh yeah. I mean,
because the pipes are definitely there. You
know what it is? It's great. He sounded just they sound, and that's the key to Alice in Chains. Jerry is such a strong singer and player as well. Right. And so that one half was always there. So the familiarity of the voice was always there. Mm-hmm. So, it was just like listening to Alice in Chains with I mean, obviously it's William up there doing his thing, putting his take on it. But, it was great. To watch these guys every day, I literally had goosebumps up there every day.
I bet. Just listening to, especially those two classic songs, The Rooster and Man in the Box.
Oh, yeah.
To hear that, knowing that you grew up listening to that as well.
Oh, yeah. And, and I think that's where I'm lucky at, because I'm a fan of music. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I'm a fan of the stories that these guys tell, and just being able to watch and listen to your heroes play every day. I think I've been lucky.
It's a dream come true.
I've been lucky like that,
I get that. So you came home. And you were home for a short period of time.
Yeah, a couple of minutes.
Yeah, and then I think I'm going out again, Eric. I said, Fred, you just said you were going to retire again. Yeah, but I'm going to go out with Megadeth. and I had lost track of that band. I said, is Marty Friedman still in the band? You're like, no. Where you been? No, but talk about that. Talk about how did you get the phone call to go?
James Lomenzo calls me up.
Who was also in Black Label Society.
Who was also in... See, there's a pattern here.
There is a pattern.
I met the guys...
You can't escape it.
I met the guys in Shinedown when they went on tour with Black Label. So I only worked with people that I knew. Okay. And JMO's like, come on, man. You'll love it. We're going to have a great time. It was a short little thing. Mm-hmm. And, so I went and I did that, and... I ended up staying for the next 10 years.
It's a long time with one band.
Yeah, it is. And
you pulled double duty there, right?
A lot of the bands that I did I did double duty. I would do bass and guitar, stuff like that. So I would do two people because I could. It's
crazy though.
It gets rough. It really does get rough. And like for Zakk and for Black Label, I did Zakk and Nick. For Shinedown, I did Jasin, and then sometimes I would do Brad. But that was like rare. They had somebody. Alice in Chains, I did Mike and William. Megadeth, I did always the guitar and bass player. Mm-hmm. INXS, I did Kurt Pengilly, but I did his guitars and his saxophones.
So I remember that. How'd that go?
I loved it, man, because I was a big INXS fan, and just to work with him was fantastic.
And now that was during a break with Megadeth. You went out with them, right?
Yeah. So
one tour or two?
South America, and it was because their normal guy was he's having a baby. His wife was having a baby.
Okay,
and so it was awesome. you know, just to meet those guys and be able to hang with those guys was.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, it's, you know, and you know, I've actually been lucky to, you know, meet and hang out with, like I said, the guy, all the music I liked. I know these guys, you know, so
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So you that was during a break, obviously, and for many years. Most recently, you've been going out with TSO during the breaks with Megadeth. Is that right? Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Past 3 years.
Yes.
The retirement's coming.
That's a whole different audience too, though.
Oh,
it's a whole different band. That's a
you gotta be kidding me.
That's a big time production there too.
So yeah, well, so check it out. If these people in the audience would have seen these guys back in the day, you know, like Savatage, you know, with their long hair and stuff like that, they would run to the other side of the street. But now, because they're playing Christmas music and wearing tuxedos, oh, they're so cute. These guys are so great. It's the same band that they were back in the 90s. You know, we're all still scary looking. You know, but you work for Trans-Siberian Orchestra. You must be a nice guy. You know,
you are a nice guy, Fred.
I try.
TSO. And that's always a tough one too, because you're out during the Christmas season. It keeps you away from home during Christmas.
Yeah, it's ruined. It's ruined quite a many holidays for a lot of people. Yeah, I'm not happy about it. I miss my Halloweens. I miss my Thanksgivings. I miss my.
Let's talk a
Christmases.
Let's talk a little story. I want you to unwind a little bit here. Let's talk a few stories that we didn't talk about in part one. And the one that I wanted you to really get to was. And I know part of the story, but it really needs to be told, and I'd really enjoy hearing it again. You had the opportunity to go to Russia. We've covered that, and you've had the ability to travel, and you're a history buff, so it's even more up your alley, personal alley. But you had an experience going to India, and you went to India with Megadeth.
Yes, I did.
And I think you went almost in the middle of the summer, I believe, right?
Oh, it was hot, yeah. Oh, it was hot.
Talk a little bit of how that tour happened, because it was not a lot of metal bands or bands, period, and popular music go to India.
Oh, dude, I think that we are the metal band that's played India the most, like 11 or 12 times or something like that. I've seen all over India. I've seen the north of India. I've seen the south of India. I've seen the east, and I've seen the west. You know what? I've seen enough. Although I got to be honest,
does it generally smell like burnt tires there? Because
they don't have any regulations. They burn everything. If you get off the plane, that's what stings your nose is the smell of. They just burn everything, and
really?
It's a constant haze, like in the cities, because they just burn everything. And like at 5 o'clock, probably what Pittsburgh was in the 50s. When they talk about, you know, it being dark and you know, you know, dirty and stuff like that, that's what this is. And I've only hit, you know, like the major cities. You know, I've gone to Taj Mahal and stuff like that outside or whatever. But I got to be honest, up in the north where the mountains are, up by Nepal and stuff like that, or whatever, beautiful.
Yeah,
it's absolutely beautiful. And you know that if you break down up there, and you looking at this jungle, there's got to be a tiger or something just ready to pounce on you. And at least that's what I told myself. It's like, I really have to pee? Nah, I think I'll just hold it. And they drive like nuts, you know, over there. And they drive like nuts in South America, too. So look who's talking. You know,
yeah, good point there. You don't have a lot of room to talk, Fred.
So Dave fires this guy on over the internet, and he broadcasts this guy's getting fired.
I saw that.
And so, you know, everybody's like,
he fired his guitar tech?
He fired his guitar tech. So guess what? All the work comes my way. But we're on an international tour.
And this is in India.
And we're on our way to India. And they said,
from where?
From Australia. Oh yeah, there's a puddle jump. You know,
there's an itinerary for you.
Yeah, it's not it's not that far. You know, come on, it's Australia to India. Yeah, right. So we go, and the first place is in the north, I can't remember the name of the town, but it's beautiful. And it was a festival. And I'm going to say this. Our country's divided. I'll get political. And it really sucks because you can go to other places. I've been to the Middle East, and I've been to like Turkey, where you see Westerners, Muslims, Jews. They're all together. They're all in one spot. Maybe they don't like each other,
but they coexist.
But they coexist. Same thing when I went to Jerusalem. They're all there.
Palestinians.
We make it, more over here, more of a problem than it really is.
Well, governments in general do.
Yeah, exactly. Just, in India, we played a festival, and this is great. They had, oh man, I sure hope I don't screw this up. They had like a Christian night. I want to say Buddhist, but I may be wrong.
A Buddhist statue.
Well, like religions. They had a Christian, Buddhism or whatever, and they had Muslim night. And all these people came together, and
they had no issues, right?
They had no issues, and they celebrated this party, these 3 days of each other's religions,
right?
And they had
so it can be done,
and they had bands and stuff like that, different bands. Megadeth played on Muslim night, of all things, and it was, well, they got good taste, but the thing is, people will coexist, and this to me was.
And where was this at?
It was in India. It was in the north of India.
Wow,
and it was awesome.
What was the city?
I can't remember the name of it. I just know it was way up there. It was right on the border. It was mountainous. It was.
Was it near Nepal?
It was, yeah. It was way up there, and I'd never been that far, but it was beautiful.
I bet.
That's why I said it was like jungles, and it's just like,
I bet
if you go off the road, you're going to get eaten by a tiger. I know it. I'm not going to do it. I'll hold it. And so it was great. So I get introduced to this guitar tech who's going to be working with me, Raj. And
a local guy.
Yeah. So to help take my burden off, they hired me a local guy.
His name was Raj.
But the thing is Dave is
Mustaine.
very particular, and he only likes, you have to really know how to do what he wants, to get done. And more credit to him. He knows what he wants, and that's how it is. Like the guy or hate the guy knows what he wants, and I'm in total agreement with him.
Sure.
Yes, that's how I want it, because I'm like that. That's how I want it. That's the way it's got to be. That's the way it works for me. Let's do it. And I think that's why I get along, or I do so well in this business, is I'm consistent. The artist tells me what he wants,
right,
and I give you what you want.
Sure.
I'm not going to give you some half-assed, No, you get what you ask for.
That's why you made it so long in this business.
Exactly. It's a business. And I guess I do good work. I don't know.
I think you kind of do.
So they give me this guy, and the only thing he can really do is hand off the guitar. You know what I mean? Because there's a certain way you have to string it. There's a certain way it has to be. There's a certain position for everything, and this guy doesn't know it. And so really,
Raj,
I'm doing everything. And so here, Raj, all you have to do is...
Now is Raj dressed in traditional garb, or what's he dressed like?
He's a normal...
Yeah, he's dressed like Western.
Yeah, he's dressed Western.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
And although...
Nice enough guy, right?
Check it out. Oh, I loved him. I loved him to death. I'm picturing him in...
They call you Mr. Fred.
He called me Mr. Fred. You know what's funny is I got a phone call yesterday from Apple Care, and they're like, Mr. Fred. And I'm like, wait a second, where the hell am I?
Raj, is that you?
Raj, did you get...
Mr.
Fred.
Apple.
Mr. Fred. So the first day goes good, and he does a great job.
But he's not stringing guitars. He's just kind of like shuffling.
No,
right?
Yeah, he's just, all he has to do is just lay low. I do everything. You just hand the guy the guitar when he needs it. Four guitar changes, you're in, you're out. That's all you have to do. You don't have to do anything else. But I can. No, you don't have to do anything else. I know you can. I know you're quite capable. But the thing is, it's got to be done a certain way, just for easy sake. Just let me do it. But I can do this. I know you can do it. I know. I'm very, very sure you can do it. Everything's great. So we get to the next city.
Which was what, Mumbai? Or?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Mumbai,
dude. It was. Yeah, it was one of the biggies. And it's either New Delhi or Mumbai or, you know.
So give us the picture. Like, is it an outdoor gig?
Oh, yeah, these are outdoor gigs.
Now, is it in a big field or is it in a stadium?
These things are out in big fields. Like
not in a stadium, then?
No, because really they don't have stadiums.
They play soccer in India?
They do, but, you know, it's...
What was the stage rigged out of?
Oh, yeah.
What were you standing on?
I was going to get to that, Eric.
Please do, Fred.
These, you know, and it's not like everything's new over there. You know,
right.
They've got like video screens. You know, like now we have video screens that we hang. They're like,
sure.
you know, they're like 2 inches, 3 inches thick, and that's it.
Right.
These things are like 9 inches thick. You know, like tons. You know, like
it's probably like old technology.
Megatons of you know of other stuff. But here's what's great. It's held up with bamboo. And it's just like,
oh, come on.
Oh no, I'm being dead serious. You get there and you're like looking and going, that's not steel. That's bamboo. Yes, it's very strong. You know what? That's got to be about 50,000 pounds. Oh, yeah, it's very, very strong. Really? Because oh look, you can get under it. And I'm like, no, I really don't want to go under it. I mean, I can think of a lot of other places I want to be, and one place I want to be is very, very, very far away from that. And oh no, there's nothing to fear. Nothing to fear. It's a stick. You're holding it up with a stick. All right, so
a pliable stick to move.
Oh yeah. I mean, literally. Oh, but it's very strong. It's a stick. And there's nothing steel about that stick. If it was made out of steel and it still looked like, and if it was that thin, I still wouldn't trust it. Even if you dipped it in iron,
right?
It's not.
It's bamboo.
Yeah, it's bamboo. You know, remember like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. He's got the old bamboo. And he's like, no, I don't want something that Dick Van Dyke's dancing around with, holding up a video screen above my head. I want to know that I'm safe.
That's crazy.
Well, we played anyway. And
what was the stage made up? Was it just rigging? Was it what was the?
Oh no, it's just like literally like some boards. You know, so somebody got a chicken coop, tore it down, threw it down there. We got chicken wire. We've got some metal plates, some corrugated sheet metal, and some boards, and we're going to throw up this stage.
So over there, who would take care of that? Is there a local? Are they organized? Was there a local union and all that stuff?
Local union, folks. I'm a union guy. I used to carry 5 union cards at one time for different
Mumbai.
different things. And I will give you this though, they don't believe in ramps.
Like, so
if you're here, okay, and your stage is here where the koala is. They get about. It's like a circus. They just pass it up. And it's just like, wait a second, that's 300 pounds, and if you drop that base, boom.
That's kind of how they build the pyramids, right?
Well, yeah, more than likely. Well, I'll tell you what, my rig's like smashed on the ground. I'm going.
There's no ramp, so they're lifting up.
Oh, they're lifting up, but it's like by a committee, like it's a gang, a gang of
people.
And I will give you this: they're there to impress. They come to work in their best clothes to impress you. There's guys in like 3-piece suits lifting stuff up, it's because I have to go look good for work. And I'll tell you what, they take pride in their work.
Okay.
And yes, the video screen held because they take pride in their bamboo, and they lash it together with their baling wire really well. And I lived. I can tell this story. But
Raj.
So these guys are passing my 500-pound 300-pound bass rig around, and I'm like, yeah, be careful. Boom, down it goes. Literally, I took the head out and I shook it, and it sounded like a can of peanuts.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
you can hear the reverb chamber just rattling around in there, right?
Yeah. And I'm just like, great. I was expecting like take it off and a snake pop out of it. Like a spring snake. Surprise. No, it wasn't. I was surprised that if I could get it back together. But I am the king of spares. So the 2 that I had in this rig are dead because they're smashed now. They've just fallen, 10 feet, and thank God.
They're just breaking everything.
That Kirshner or whoever, Ganush or whatever the hell it is, none of these guys got flattened, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because dude, I'm telling you, it was bad. And and they don't wear shoes. Yeah, and that's the sound that it made. That's the sound that it made when it stuck in the mud.
No, wait a second. No, wait.
No, why should you wear shoes?
You told me to wear three-piece suits. I got no shoes.
You got a three-piece suit on, but you're not going to wear shoes.
Are you in the sand or in a grass field?
It's like a grass field. So my day's off to a wonderful start. All right, and I'm like sitting there going, and I am the king of patience.
You are.
I have the patience of a saint.
Of Job.
And I am Job. And
to a certain point.
And so I smile and say, I'm the king of spares, and I have a tub or a trunk that hasn't been dropped yet. And it has a spare in it, so I get through with my head. That's why I always I always have spares for everything. And so I go to the rig and I start getting ready for the show, and I get ready to start stringing. And I'm like, I got to do it. I go, where the fuck are the strings? I had a whole couple boxes of strings in here for four shows, and I don't have any strings. All the strings are gone. Mr. Fred. You find them, Raj? Oh, no, but I believe I know what happened to the strings. What happened to the strings, Raj? So the peoples were so excited that the Megadeth was there. They said, please, a souvenir from the Megadeth. I'm like, a souvenir from the Megadeth? What's that have to do with the strings? Well, I could not find anything to give, so we have lots of strings. So I give a person some strings. Yeah, okay, so you gave away a pack of strings, so yeah. But then someone else say, please, Mr. Raj, please, something for the Megadeth for me to take home. So I give him a pack of strings. Wait, so you're telling me you gave away like 4 boxes of strings? Yes. Wait. Run this past me again. You've given away the only strings that I have for 4 shows, and I have no more strings, and I change them every day. Yes. But the peoples, they are so happy. They're like, oh, thank you, Mr. Raj. Thank you. We love the Megadeth. We want the Megadeth to come back. And this is the greatest. And I'm like, well, I don't have any strings, Raj. And I got a bass rig that's flat, and there's an imprint in front of the stage that they're trying to fill in with horse manure or something. I'm like, to keep that divot from somebody falling into this thing. And you're telling me I don't have any strings. Are you angry with me? No, I am not angry. And it seems like you're very angry. This is about as angry as I get, right? I'm not angry. Please, Mr. Fred, I'm very sorry, but the people, they are so happy for the strings. I'm like, it's great, yeah. I always carry extra stuff, the king of spares and king of backups, in my suitcase. That's why my suitcase is always so heavy. It's like I'm sitting there looking at it going, come on, 50 pounds, 50.1. Yes, I'll let you pass. Okay, great. So I trek back to the production office where I have a suitcase, and excuse me. That's the sound I made as I got there from the smoke burning through my lungs. So I go and I get these extra strings out. I said, look, Raj, don't ever give the strings away, all right? Because Mr. Fred, I'm so sorry. But the peoples, the peoples are so happy. It's okay. It's good. I get it. I do the same thing. When I have spares of everything, I pass things out. But just don't give them. I have just enough picks. I have just enough strings for these shows in India. Okay, I can tell you're angry. I'm not angry. I don't get mad. Nothing makes me mad. Excellent. And we went and we had a pretty good day, other than my eyes and my nostrils burning from the rancid smell of something burning. Rubber. Yeah, something burning. And I shit you not when I say this. There was a spark in the field. Now, I'm talking. Here's the stage, and a half mile away is where the production office is, where I have to go. And somewhere in this field, there's sparks going up in the air. And I'm like, what the hell is that? Somebody's lighting fireworks? What is that? Oh, yeah, it's the cables that they put together.
The extension cords?
The very, very, very high power, 10,000 volt power lines.
It's like some very high-end
just
extension cords.
Laying in the field, spliced together. They're cut and spliced together and held together with saran wrap. It wasn't even... here's my thing. Where the hell did they get the saran wrap? You know what I mean? I could think of other things to wrap it with.
Bamboo.
But they're not. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't put it on a piece of bamboo and wrap it around there. But I was just like, wow, there is absolutely like nothing sanitary here in this country at all. But someone found some saran wrap. And they threw it in a puddle. And this thing's sparking. And it's just like, you've got to be kidding me. So I'm like, hey, look, we really can't do anything until, we get this fixed. So it goes on and on and on. All right, I need my towels and my waters to the stage. We've already taken them. What do you mean you've already taken them to the stage? I'm up on stage right now, and there's nothing here.
You're on the radio with them.
Yeah. No. We took them up earlier. I'm telling you, I'm on stage. I'm looking all over the stage. There is no towels and water, and the band's walking. I need towels and water to the stage. Raj, you see where these towels and waters went? Mr. Fred. Or did you find them? Well, it is so hot and dusty here in India. And the people are looking up saying, please, something to quench my thirst. Something to wipe my eyes. It is so dusty and the smoke and the soot are burning my eyes. Please, something. And I'm like going, you've given away.
You gotta be kidding me.
You've given away the towels and the water as the band is walking to the stage. No, I've done it earlier. and the people are so happy. I'm like, the people are so happy. And they're like, yes, please, something. So I give them one water, but there were just so many people. And I pass out the more water, and I say, please share. Share the water, share the and so you've given away all my towels and my waters. Yes, because the dust, it was so thick, and the people, they wipe their face, and they say, thank you, Raj. Thank you so much for the towels and the water. Okay, Raj. I've got 4 guys coming up here that are going to be really mad really fast when they don't have any water in this heat and this choking smoke.
Bottled water, I might add.
It's bottled water. And I can tell you're angry with me. I'm not angry with you. You seem to be very, very... I do not get angry. I do not get angry at anything. I am calm. In with the good, out with the bad.
Surrender now.
So, yeah. I can tell you're angry. I am not angry. I am not angry in the least. I'm not angry. We're just somebody find me more towels. There is no more towels. Somebody find me some towels. Guess who has towels? In his king of backups, has just enough towels to get through this show. Just bring me some water. I don't care any kind of water. We have coconut water. Bring me the damn coconut water. I don't care. Go smack a coconut out of a tree, fill up a milk carton, and say that's all they've got. Just bring me some waters. You are angry. I can tell. I can tell by the tone in your voice. I'm not very angry. I am not angry like this, but somebody's ass is going to get chewed out, and it's mine.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the 3rd show. And I say, Raj, please. No more. I just don't give anything away. Even if they beg you, don't do it. But why? The people, they love the Mega. Yeah. But we're not. You're going to give the guitars away next or something. I can tell you're angry. I am not angry. When we go to Calcutta,
that was the next stop.
Yeah, I'm going to take you to dinner. You don't have to take me to dinner. I'm going to take you to dinner to apologize for all of the things that I've done wrong. I'm like, you haven't done anything wrong. You've done everything that I would do, but I just don't have the spares for it because we're in a different country. I can tell you're angry. I'm not angry. Calcutta is my home. I want to show you Calcutta. Okay. Now, we stay at these high-end restaurants or high-end hotels with like restaurants in them, you know what I mean? And we stay at this, restaurant, and I said restaurant, this hotel
in
Calcutta, and it's got like.
Is there actually a high-end hotel in Calcutta?
Oh yeah. It's just where all the tech people go. So, when you're getting calls, it's like I know exactly where you're at.
I get it.
We were there, and all I want to do is just go to my room. Here's the thing. you can't eat anything over there. You can't eat anything leafy. I eat meat, you know. So and they don't eat cows.
Yeah.
And so all I do is I dine on chicken. You know what I mean? Oh, but you should not hurt an animal. You should maybe try some vegetables. Vegetables are no. I don't eat vegetables. I don't eat vegetable anything. You know what I mean? I don't eat anything vegetable.
Give me some meat.
You know, I eat chicken. Oh, I would like to take you to dinner. No, you don't have to take me to dinner. These restaurants are way too overpriced. It's a hotel. It's a 5-star hotel restaurant. You don't have to take me because you're not even supposed to leave the hotel.
Right.
That's what I these assumed, places right? Like don't leave the hotel. Just eat at the hotel. And you know, you got an American restaurant, you got a French restaurant, you got an Indian restaurant, you got Italian, you got like Japanese or whatever. You know, 5 different restaurants in there. Take a pick. All right, we'll get on there. Where do you want to meet? Do you want to go eat the Italian? Do you want to eat the Indian? Oh no. I'm going to show you my town. It is where I live. No. You know, I don't have to. I've seen India before. I don't have to. Oh, please. I could tell you're angry.
You're in Calcutta now.
I could tell you're angry with me, and I just want to show you. You want to show me what? I want to show you my town. I will take you to a great restaurant. No. I don't want to go. And, you know, I'm fine eating down here. You know, in fact, I'll buy because it's so expensive. Oh, no. They pay me very, very handsomely. They pay you handsomely. Yes. Yeah. What are they paying you, if I could ask? Well, they are paying me $400 a day. You mean rupees, right? They're paying you 400 rupees a day. You know, because $400 is like, oh, no. $400 US a day. Wait a second, Raj. They're paying you more than they're paying me to hand off a guitar 3 times during a set? Oh, yes. It's very, very handsome pay. Yeah, you know what? Damn it, we are going to go eat, and you're buying. You know, oh, where are we going to go? I don't care where we go. Yeah,
that was your mistake.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know this wonderful place I've heard of. You've heard of this place? Yes, it is very, very, very good. Very good. Very good. Where's it at? Oh, it's just around the corner. Just around the corner from the hotel in Calcutta. Oh, yes. Paying this motherfucker $400 a day. Yes. Okay, here we go. We're off. I want to go see some India. I walked through that front gate of that hotel. I don't know what hit me first. Was it the heat? Was it the smell? Was it the kids begging on the streets? You know, the sights, the sounds.
Was it the human defecation?
You know.
Is that true?
Oh yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it twice in India and one other place, San Francisco, where people would just poop on the street. And it's great. It's like you're like walking, the person in front of you stop, drop, and plop, and it's just like, wait, what? Oh my God, there's crap on the. Yeah, watch out for that pile. Oh, you almost stepped into that pile over there. So it's pretty bad.
And that's a thing.
That's a thing. Oh yeah, it's a thing. They just, you know, I tell the story too. I went to this like park bench in India, and I'm like walking around. I almost get run over by a cow. This cow like becomes bowling around a corner, and I'm like,
because they just roam free.
Oh yeah,
right?
they just roam free. They'll stop traffic.
They're holy animals.
Oh yeah. The traffic will be backed up for miles because some cow decided to lay down on the road, and they're not going to move it. You know, and that's the truth. So I'm on this one lane.
You think we have problems over here?
Yeah, and I'm on this 1-lane bridge, and this cow comes running at me, and it's just like, and he runs past me, and I'm like, oh, but it diverts my attention to this old couple that were probably in their late 70s, early 80s, and they're sitting there holding hands, and they're looking into each other's eyes lovingly, and I'm like thinking, that is so beautiful. And this dude just walks up and just pees right behind them, right on the end of the bench. He's just like sitting there peeing, and I'm like, yeah, this is India. So this is what I'm thinking.
Oh my God.
And that's a true thing too. And I'm like, okay. So we get out of there, and I'm getting Slumdog Millionaire, and I'm getting like all these little beggar kids like pulling on me. You know, he's like, This is the guy that just gave away everything I own. He's like, beat it, all of you. Get away, shoo.
So the rural side of Raj is
there.
Yeah, right?
You know, like all these like little kids are like one kid's got one eye missing. You know, one of them looks like
terrible.
Beat it. You know, it's like, so then the next thing comes up. It's the adults. And the adults are like, please, I have not eaten in days. I'm like, really? You're lucky then, you know, because I haven't eaten in days, so we can talk. So he's like, beat it, all of you, please, get away. Then he starts talking to this guy in the corner. Do you know where the restaurant? I'm going to ask where the restaurant is. I thought you knew where the restaurant was. This is your town. Oh, yes, I know about it. About it? What do you mean about it? Oh, it's around here somewhere. All right. So he's like talking to this guy, and the guy starts yelling at him.
You guys have walked city blocks.
We haven't even walked 500 feet. We walked out of the gate, and literally, and the kids are still buzzing around me like little bees. I'm sitting around, please. And I'm sitting there going, you know,
no words.
Yeah, no, there's no words. So he starts asking this guy about, you know, where's this restaurant at? And the next thing I know, they're haggling over a T-shirt. And I'm like, and it's just like, wait, what? It's some green T-shirt, like with like the Indian flag. If you want to know where the restaurant is, you have to buy the T-shirt. You know, it's just like, no, we can find. Screw him. We will find it on our own.
There's no GPS over there, nothing.
You know what?
Okay.
I'm not using my data because I wasn't on T-Mobile at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, no. We can find it. It's a beautiful walk. We walked through this.
Beautiful walk.
I'm telling you what. We walked down this alley, and I'm not joking when I say it. A white person hasn't walked down that alley since the British left. You know what I mean? I was like the only white guy to walk down it, and people were like sitting there. You think it's bad walking through the hood here? People are going. You know, and you could hear the record needle skips like,
what is he doing here?
And it's like yeah, Rush, we're not Kansas anymore, you know that. And he's like, I believe it is just up the street here, you know. And we're like walking, and it's like a maze of.
It's hot and humid.
It's hot, humid, it's burning, it's stench. Literally, we're walking, and I'm not.
Sounds like hell.
You know what? I had a wonderful time though, and I don't want to make it sound bad because I do embrace other cultures, and that's what we're going to get to with the story. So we're walking, and literally we're there, and we come to the place. He goes, I think this is it. I'm like, there's not even a front door on the place, man.
Great.
He's like, this is it. I'm like, are they even open? Oh, yes, they're open all the time. You just go in. So we go in there, and it's just like it's a normal restaurant, but there's no one there. And he goes, oh, yes. And the guy, they start talking. And, yes, they will bring us food, but they were going to wake everyone up to come down. Why is that? Because I told them that you are a very, very famous man from America. You told them I'm a famous man from. Oh, yes.
Great.
Yes. And they are. It is an honor to have you in their home. I thought this was a restaurant. Yes. Yes, it is. But they live upstairs. And the next thing you know, like 7, 8 people come downstairs, and they're all dressed very, very nicely. And this is not a stereotype. I'm not being a jerk when I say this. This is just something that I observed. They're the nicest people in the world, and they want your approval, but they bob their heads like a bobblehead.
I get it.
You know, and none of them speak English, and they're looking at me going, because I'm the famous guy from America now, and very, very famous rock musician from America, you know, and they're all thrilled. So they bring me some food. So Raj orders appetizers. And one of the things you don't eat is anything from the ground, anything that's absorbed water over there. No leafy vegetables, nothing that's going to be growing in the soil, you know, stuff like that. Oh, yes, I bought us some appetizers. Great. What did you get? I got us some onions, and I got us some lettuce. I don't know if I should eat the lettuce, but I love onions. And some potatoes.
Were they cooked?
Oh, yeah, they were cooked. Yeah, probably boiled. or pickled or whatever. And look, it's giving me a lump in my throat thinking about it. This is trauma, people. I know it's a long story, but I'm sure it
was much longer for you.
So we get there and they bring the food. It's delicious.
Really?
It was wonderful.
Surprised.
But I got like 8 guys going. With their little bobbleheads going.
While you're eating, they're staring at you.
Oh yeah, they're standing right there. If I drop a fork, somebody's snagging that thing in midair, wiping it off, and giving it back to me. You know, and it's wonderful. It was excellent. So we're ready to order the main course.
Okay.
And I say, you know, Waraj is like, "Oh, would you like something to drink?" I'm like, "Yeah, but it's got to be bottled water." Of course it is bottled water. Okay, yeah, well, just making sure, you know, because I'm not supposed to be drinking any water over here. Of course it is bottled water. Why would we could be giving you bottled water? Oh, yeah, okay, great. Excellent's great. So bottled water comes, you know, I'm sitting there drinking.
Did you recognize the brand of bottled water?
Yeah, it was like the Santi or something. Okay. It was like a Coca-Cola brand or whatever.
Okay.
And so I ordered chicken. Oh. I am just going to have the potatoes because I am a vegetarian. Yeah, I want the chicken. I'll have the chicken. I'll have the chicken. If you want to try some of mine, you can. No. I don't want your potatoes. I want the chicken. All right, so we're sitting there talking, and he goes, I really am sorry for all the problems. I'm like, you didn't cause me any problems, man. Everything's great. I mean, you did a wonderful job. You know, Dave was happy. Everybody's happy. Don't worry about it. Everything's good. I'm very sorry. Don't even think about saying you're sorry for giving away all the strings and the towels and the water. Don't even think about that. But I just want to say, I know there's nothing to say. You know, let's have a good and in the middle of my sentence, I look over off to my right, and I see something halfway up the wall and it's just making this little flicker.
Okay.
Enough to distract you from a conversation of a guy apologizing profusely. No, don't. I look over there, and it's this dot on the wall, and it keeps moving.
Okay.
And I look.
Voodoo chips, by the way.
And I look, and out of this little 3-inch water pipe pops this head and a rat the size of a football with the body the size. It pops out of this hole and starts running around the floor. And it's running around and it's zigging and zagging and it's
around your feet?
It came running right up around the table. We're the only people there. It came straight at me like a rabid dog, Eric. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, holy shit, Raj, look at that rat. And he goes, oh, that is just a baby. And I'm like, a baby rat. And I watch this rat, all right, and it comes running up and it runs up these little steps and it runs around the table and I watch it and I could see into the kitchen and I watch it jump up on a stool and it jumps up on the table and I see it reach down.
The kitchen.
It runs in the kitchen, reaches down to something on top of it, and it picks it up and it starts eating it, you know, like sitting on its, you know, like its butt, you know, and it's sitting there eating it. And I watched the guy come over and he shoos the rat away, picks up 2 plates, comes down and brings it and puts it right in front of us.
Oh my God.
And in my plate, I have a rat footprint and a
tail drag.
A tail drag through the sauce that's on my chicken. And I look up and I've got 8 guys going. And I'm like, I am not an ugly American. I do not want to portray that you know, stereotype. I don't want to be, you know what? I'll just eat around it. And
eat around it.
I ate it. And he said, how was it? I mean, it's delicious. It's awesome. And that's when my stomach gurgled for the first time. I'm like, that's weird. I didn't eat anything that, you know, that I shouldn't have.
No, you ain't no vegetation.
Well.
The onion.
The onions. Where do onions grow?
In the ground. Deep in the ground.
Yeah, I'm not even thinking about it. And I eat it, and it's good. And my stomach's gurgling again. Would you like to try a potato? No. Oh, please, I insist. Try the potatoes. You know what? Right now, all right, give me the potato.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's delicious. It is good. Yeah, I didn't think. And so we're sitting there, we're talking. I'm telling him what a good job he did because he did a great job.
Besides giving everything away.
Yeah, but he did a great job. He was, very, very attentive and,
And highly paid.
And highly paid, yes. And they come back to the table and they 8 guys bobbleheading at the table.
Did they have little bells that made the noise? And
they should have.
Or whatever.
Yeah. And they come back to the table and they say, "Oh, it's such an honor to have you here. They want to give you Calcutta's special traditional drink." I'm like, Calcutta's special traditional drink. And I'm thinking booze. And I'm like, yeah, booze, finally some booze.
Maybe some alcohol will kill what's going on in my stomach right now, right?
Exactly. And they go, "Oh, it is water, sugar, salt, and lemons." Wait a second, let me get this straight. The traditional drink of Calcutta is like water, sugar, salt, and lemons. Yes. We call that like a margarita. I mean, there's some tequila in there that you got a margarita. But okay, sure. Let's bring it on. This is a great time. I had a great time with you guys. The food was excellent. My stomach's gargling a little bit, but you know what? It could be anything. Yeah. Let's do Calcutta's special traditional drink. I could smell that water from here to the back wall before it even came through the kitchen door.
Was it hot, cold?
Oh, well, it was lukewarm, whatever stream they got it from. It smelled like sulfur. It smelled like rotten eggs. And they came and they remember sea monkeys? Because that's what was floating in my drink. It looked like sea monkeys, and it wasn't. The lemon was still sitting there. It wasn't muddled lemon. There was a stick in there and a piece of leaf. I don't know where the hell they got this water, but it wasn't bottled. And I have 8 guys and Raj. Here's to you. Here's to me, huh?
Here's to you, Fred.
And I'm looking at that water. And I'm like, I am not an ugly American. I am not an ugly American. I'm not an ugly American. I can do this. I can do this. You'll be fine. Get some Imodium. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. I'm like, oh, cheers. It's gagging me. I take a sip. It's very good. Hey, they're very good. They're all
Did it
happy.
taste as bad as it smelled?
Oh, my God. I almost puked right there. And that's when my guts just went, done. Done. We're done.
Immediately.
Oh, immediately. Immediately done. And I looked, and there was, here's what I did. I'm like, oh my, look at the time. I've got to go. I don't even have a watch on. I'm like, oh, look at me. I've got to go. And he's like, but we have the night off. I'm like, no. Mr. Dave gave you the night off. He didn't give me the night off. I have to go back and go to Mr. Dave's room. I've got to go now. Oh, but okay. No. I want to show you around. No, we don't have time to show. And here's me like leading them back through the maze of the slum. I just got to find a hotel because I don't want to stop, drop, plop in a street. You know what I mean? Because it ain't going to be a stop, drop, and plop. It's going to be like
right.
It's like you got to spray. You know what I mean? And
oh my God.
So I'm running through the city, get back. I got to beat the guy that wants to sell me the T-shirt, for trying the restaurant. I've got all these older guys going, please, look at the finest. I'm get out of here. It's the finest. It is not the finest. I've seen better otherwhere, at other places. Got the little kids, I'm trying to go around the sideways because the kid can't see me. He's got the one eye, it's like sitting there, I'm like sneaking past them, like all stealth.
Oh, it's terrible.
I get back to the hotel and literally just barely make it. I'm on a flight to Moscow like the next day, it's flying out of there.
Ouch.
And yeah, it's pretty far. It's a far flight. I'm just saying.
It's pretty far.
So,
I can imagine.
I had this Lyme disease scare not too long ago, and I had to go give blood for the CDC,
right,
and stuff like that. And I went and gave blood, and I get this phone call at my house, and it says, yeah, hi, we're from the CDC. And I'm like, oh, yeah, it's about my Lyme disease. Woman goes, Lyme disease? What are you talking about? I'm like, well, I went and gave blood, and to get it tested for Lyme disease. She goes, oh no, you're fine. But you have 3 of the rarest forms of salmonella on the planet, and we just want to know how you got them. I'm like, well, could you tell me where they're from? And she's like, well, one's from South America, one's from China, and one's like a really, really, really certainly bad type from India.
Raj.
And I'm like, well, you'll never believe me if I told you.
Wow.
And she goes, are you sick? And I'm like, no, I thought it was normal to live the way I was living and feel bad. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh yeah, I feel great now. I didn't know what I was missing. Wow, I could. Oh my God. Oh yeah, I like three of the rarest forms of salmonella. And it even gets worse. As the lady tells me, I'm sorry, sir, but it's in your blood. Well, yeah, that's fine. No, if it's in your blood, it's fatal. And it's in my blood. I'm fatal. And I'm sitting there, and at the time I was still home. The wife and kids are downstairs, and they just tell me that I've got a fatal blood disease.
That's crazy.
And I'm sitting there, and I'm going, your whole life.
And you're like, Raj!
Your whole life gets, exactly. I'm so sorry, terribly sorry. I got to do the rarest form of salmonella. And I'm sitting there, and you're thinking about, I got to tell my wife and my kids that I've got this fatal disease now. And I'm sitting there, and, you sit down on the edge of the bed, like, Westworld was on, and I'll do it after Westworld. I just want to see what happens. Because it was like the big show at the time. And I'm like, I just want to see what happens. And I'm like, I got to tell these people this. And I get the nerve to tell them, and I get this phone call from the CDC. Again, is this Mr. Kowalo? Yes. I am terribly sorry, sir. I misread your chart. Yes. I don't have salmonella. No, you have salmonella. You have 3 of the red. It's just not in your blood. You're not going to die. And I'm like sitting there. Thank God I waited 20 minutes to watch a show. And I'm not messed up in the head that I actually did that. I'm just like, you know what?
So I can wait 20 minutes.
I'm not going to die in the next 20 minutes. I really want to see what happens. I want to, but that's how I am. And I'm just like sitting there, there's a tear in my eye, but I just really want to see how this ends. So thank God I waited, because I didn't have to tell them. And then we all had a good laugh afterwards.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I thought I was going to die.
But you have the right kind of temperament to travel and go with the flow. And would you not?
It flowed. For like the next.
I walked right into that one, didn't I?
No, actually, you would know if you walked into it. I almost did a few times,
but it takes a certain kind of person to do that, and I'm not saying every experience was enjoyable, but you have to be able to adapt.
Oh yeah, and that's the key. Here's the thing, man.
Is that why you think the road burns so many people out?
Yeah, there's people that won't even leave their hotel rooms. There's people, you know what I mean? I want to see things. Mm-hmm. I want to see things, especially if somebody else is paying for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, right.
Yeah, it's like...
So Russia had to be fun for you.
Russia, that's, my family's from Russia. Going to Russia, and I, I tell the story. I went and saw Lenin's tomb. I went inside, saw Lennon. He's like there. He's dead.
He's really there. Like
he's like dead. He's blue. Yeah,
he's like, mummified there.
Oh yeah, he's like mummified. He's like embalmed. And so I'm
never gonna put him on the ground. Huh?
Oh no. You can walk around there, and it's just real solemn. It's really cool. This guy actually, it's Lennon. He's dead. He's blue. One of my favorite things was let's go to Lennon's tomb, and I remember this one person I worked with. This girl, she goes, why would they bury John Lennon in Russia? I thought he was English. And you just see everybody go, you're not invited, So
oh, my God, that's great.
Why would they bury John Lennon? And, didn't you ever hear that song Back in the USSR? That's what they're talking about, okay? There you go. And that's an actual true story. So I go and I see it, and I go back and I tell Dave. I said, hey, Dave, check it out. I went and saw Lennon's tomb. He goes, he's like, really there? I'm like, yeah. He's like, really there? He's like, is it creepy? I'm like, yeah, it's really creepy. He's like, let's go, man. I'm like, oh yeah, this is awesome.
Of course.
So we go back, and there's a line around the building. I mean, okay. So here's Lennon's tomb. here's the museum, you know, the war museum, and there's a line that goes all the way down and past the you know, down by the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, along the Kremlin Wall and stuff like that. And for those, I just remember everything, you know. But it's this long ass line. It's going to take hours. Man, I ain't waiting.
Dave ain't playing that.
Dave's not playing it. Hello. Are you from America? Yes, I am, comrade. How would you like to cut the line? How would I like to cut the line? You know, what do we got to do? Very, very easy. Come with me. So what do how are we going to do this? You must pay me. You know, all right, well, how much is it to cut the line? For you? 100 rubles. 100 rubles. Sounds expensive. Look it up on that. I don't know what the hell. Look it up. Do the conversion. Thank goodness for iPhones. Thank goodness for T-Mobile and your free data. Let's take a look here. 100 rubles. 13 cents. Yeah, sure, man. I've got 100 rubles I can burn. You know, it's like 13 cents to cut this line. It's like, so how are we going to do this? Okay, follow me. So we go out. And
you didn't feel a little nerve?
Of course I did. Of course I did. It's me, the king of all bad decisions. I have not made a good decision in my life ever. And I'm going to go wandering off with this Russian guy. Dave's like, man, I really don't know about it. It's 13 cents. Come on. What's the worst that could happen? We end up in some Russian jail. And
yes.
So we go, and here's the line to get in. Here's the ticket office right there. We walk from this around the building, through the arch, come around the other side, walk along this fence, come back around. And we're back to where we started, but we're on the other side of the fence. Where someone comes walking down, that is my wife, who hands him some tickets, and now we've got this guy, and we're going in to see Leonard Star. We cut the line from everybody.
Just 13 cents.
Yeah, for 13 cents. You know, she's like sitting. Yeah, I'm like, wow, this is great. So we went in and we saw Lennon, and he was dead still. And you know, they weren't playing back in the USSR. And we had a blast. We had a great time. And we were walking out, and the guy goes, "Excuse me, are you Dave Mustaine?" Like,
really?
Oh yeah, it was awesome. But I've seen so much in Russia, and I've been to St. Basil's, and I've been to Red Square I've been in the summertime. I've been in the wintertime. I've gone to some crazy, you know, clubs, hanging out with my friends, yeah. Sergey. And
didn't Zakk love to go to like churches? Like when he was touring in Europe, he used to go to like the cathedrals and things. And
right? I still do. I go to all these churches. Yeah, so I got that from Zakk. But that's just it. I mean, I'm a history buff. So going to these places and seeing things, I mean, I'm always about...
Americans, we have no idea, huh? Some of these buildings go back, centuries.
It's like, oh, my house was built in like 1978. That's pretty old. There's places in England that are like built in like 1106, you know, and the same family still owns it, you know?
Yes. I remember going into a bar in London. It was an underground bar. Not the underground, but it was literally a bar that was, 3 stories below this old building. And I think it was the 1400s it was there from, and they still had some of the, I don't think the glasses were from the 1400s, but they had the see-through bottoms on it, so when they drink, they could see through who's coming through the door, and just it was just so cool. And I remember touching the wall and going, wow, this is centuries old.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing here in the States that's remotely like that.
No, figure we're, 200 and some years old. 200 and some odd years old as a country.
That's like 20 minutes over there.
Yeah, it's like 20 minutes. Exactly. And what, 1492 Columbus came here, it's like, so you're talking like at the most,
right?
I think like the oldest settlement, like St. Augustine or something like that, so up here, there's, my house is built in 78. Beat that, so, but I mean, like I said, these things to be in the Colosseum and to see the Parthenon. I've seen all this stuff. And I go and I seek it out.
What was the coolest outdoor venue that you're with a band that played?
I love playing Red Rocks. Red Rocks is fun, and those rocks are billions of years old. Those are the oldest rocks you can actually see. You know, it's like, here's the oldest rocks with nothing, and this is where the dinosaurs were. You know, so it's tilted on its side, but it's beautiful amphitheater. So Red Rocks is cool.
I've been there.
We've played castles. You know, inside of castles. You know, Milan.
It's crazy.
Estonia. Played a castle in Estonia.
Yeah.
Trying to think. You know.
A lot of the jazz guys play smaller places over there, and jazz being so big over in Europe. So I've been following Al Di Meola quite a bit over the years, especially on social media. And some of these like little castles, some of the places they play, even the acoustics have to be amazing in there.
Oh yeah, I mean, echo. Yeah. So
natural
you get
reverb,
natural reverb. But yeah, we play like courtyards. Oh, places I go to find in Romania. I took a bus ride. I went to Dracula's castle. It was cool.
Dracula laying in state there.
Yeah, you know, he wasn't laying in state, but yeah, I mean, but it really was. He was imprisoned there for X amount of years. It wasn't the one he owned. I want to go to the one that like he actually lived in. Mm-hmm. And they're like, you know, that's like 1,182 steps straight up, and I'm like sitting there going, you know, on my fifth, you know, Romanian beer, going, let's do it. Let's, you know, come on, you know. And no, I know we didn't go. Believe me. Could you imagine what your ass would feel like going up like 1,182 steps, and then you have to come back down? I think I would just roll down the steps. I'd just like give up and just go, all right, look, somebody push me. You know,
a piece of cardboard and slide down.
Oh yeah, exactly. You know, down the mountain. You know,
because did you ever go to China?
I love China.
Were you ever in China?
Yeah, I've been to China a few times.
But at the Great Wall. Did you ever go to the Great Wall?
I have not been to the Great Wall. I got bit by a bug in China.
You got what?
Yeah, do you ever...
I don't know this story, buddy.
You don't follow my Instagram. You got to follow the Instagram.
I'm afraid to look at your Instagram.
So check it out. I get bit by a bug. No big deal. The next thing I know, my arm's falling off. It's necrotizing.
The spider.
The spider bit me, yeah. And if I didn't go... And they're like
that was in China.
That was in China. So here I am. If I didn't go to the doctor, because here's me, I don't do doctors. If I didn't go to the doctor, they said that. I mean, there's like a.
I saw the picture. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that was like a spider bite, right?
There's a spider bite on the shoulder.
Were you sleeping when it happened?
Yeah, I had to have been. I believe me, if I would have seen it, I wouldn't have let it bite me. But but so I go to China and they say, oh no, don't go to the Western medicine guy. They don't know what they're doing. You got to go to some Chinese herbalist. And I'm like, some Chinese herbalist. So you're going to take me. The guy tells me, he looks at me and he goes, but I don't speak Chinese. So through the interpreter, he goes, yeah, if you would have waited another day, you would have lost your arm. I'm like, I would have lost. But it's a normal bug bite. It was a normal bug bite. But because my body wasn't accustomed to it, it had a bad reaction to me. So, like, these people get bit by these bugs all the time, and nothing happens to them. But he goes, it's because of the things you eat. I'm like, because of the things I eat, you know, but it is. I mean, these guys they've built up immunity to it, whereas this thing just started and I'm sitting there like,
I saw the photos of that. Yeah, that's pretty horrific.
I was like spider bite day, you know, day 8, you know, my arm's falling off, you know, and it's just like, so I'm over there and I'm miserable.
Did you go to the Western doctor?
I actually did go to the Western. I went to the herbal doctor. He gave me some stuff, and I went to the Western doctor as well because I insisted.
And probably he laughed at the herbal doctor. Right?
Well, they hooked me up, and my arm didn't fall off. But over in China,
Mm-hmm. Did you like it over there?
I had a blast. You know what they got in China? Pollution. It's worse than India. I'm not joking.
Overcrowding over there.
I'm not joking when I say that you couldn't see down the block because there was so much pollution.
Where were you? In
Beijing? Yeah, in Beijing. And like literally, you couldn't see. And you know, they talk about
from the guitar. We were able to think about Fred just as an aside, whether it was China, whether it was South Korea early on, whether it was Indonesia, we could have all those toxic lacquers that we couldn't spray here in the States.
Exactly.
We'd ship them over there, and they'd spray our guitars with them, right? With no problem. Yeah. No EPA.
Can I have extra lead in that, please?
Yeah, we like our guitar spray with extra lead.
Because we play heavy metal here.
That's pretty good, actually.
We'll have to ask that with
China. So So talk a little bit about Japan, because Japan was a place you've been to multiple times. Am I right?
I love Japan.
Did you ever? Because I know it's a budget thing for a lot of bands. Did you ride the bullet train?
Oh yeah, that's the only way you get around.
It's expensive.
It's expensive, but that's the only way you get around over there. You hop on the bullet train.
Is that pretty much from the airport to downtown?
Oh, no. If you ever fly in, they tell you to take a cab from Narita to Tokyo. It's only like a $200 cab ride to get there. It's just like, really?
What?
Oh, yeah. And then, of course, you don't have yen right away. It's not even yen. It's like a $200 U.S. cab ride.
Wow.
And I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me. I actually, I split a cab with someone one time, trying to get out of. We ended up leaving this place late one night. No, don't worry about it. I got the cab. Are you sure? Yeah. Don't worry about it, because we're at different hotels. Guy's like, yeah, it's 178 U.S. So I'm like, 178 U.S. I'm like, we went from here to there.
Right.
Yeah. That's what I'm like. Really, you got to be kidding.
That's nuts.
And so I love Japan. The bullet train. I've seen Mount Fuji.
Japan audiences are interesting, though, right?
Oh yeah, they're awesome.
But it's different, though, isn't it?
No, it's way different. I told somebody one time, I said I could take a stack of like $100 bills, take them and throw them on the floor, because you play multiple nights there. I say, throw them on the floor. You can come back the next day, and they'll all be sequential.
Gotcha.
And they'll all be pressed, and they'll all be nice and neat. You know, they'll put them in order and stuff like that. Put it back on your roadblocks. You don't have to worry about anything over there.
Different society.
Oh, exactly,
man. Very orderly. For
Exactly.
the most part, right? For
Yeah,
the most part.
Oh, yeah. And very polite.
They get pretty rowdy, though, right? I mean, the younger generations are more westernized in terms of what they like. Is that correct?
Yeah, but like I said, they're polite, and they'll sit until the show starts, and then they'll get up and
I had a conversation with Paul Stanley once about the differences between the States and Japan. He said it's changed over the years, but in the 70s, kids would play there, and they were literally sitting on their hands, and you'd have to beg them to stand. Once in a while, they start to stand.
Yeah.
But as the generations have changed, the younger generation there now is just fervent, a fervent of a crowd as the States have.
Yeah.
Without some of the vulgarity and all the other stuff that goes on.
You wouldn't have. It's, they're very, very proper. They're very polite people. Mm-hmm. They're very, very gracious people. They give you gifts. You're showered with gifts.
Yeah, the bands are treated like royalty over there, right?
Oh yeah, I actually started thinking of like some stories, of.
Wait, now how many times were you there? Were you there at Black Label?
I was there at Black Label.
Ozzy?
I did not go with Ozzy. No.
Japan. Okay.
I've been there with Black Label.
Megadeth.
Megadeth several times. Yeah. I'm trying to think. You know what? I may have just done Black Label and Megadeth over there, because Shinedown didn't go.
Alice in Chains?
I was supposed to go on that, and I went and did Megadeth instead.
Okay.
That's when JMO called up and said, hey, look, can we take them? And
Okay. Huh. Japan's cool, though, huh?
I love Japan. Osaka is one of my favorite cities ever.
Expensive, though, right?
Yeah, it's really expensive. I mean,
you get the chance to do shopping on the road, or is it hard because of just space and carrying things?
I go shopping in Japan. I get on and you've got the electronics district, you've got the merchant district, get the souvenir, and so it's awesome. You can buy anything over there, and it's always there. You got the musical instrument district. And but I always knew where I always memorized. I got on the Green Line, I got off on Amano Santo, and I go and I hop on the subways in all these places. You know what I mean? I started to learn a little bit of Japanese when I first went, because I was all geeked out. I'm like, I want to learn Japanese. I know, Motobiro kudasai. Give me some more beer, please. You know what I mean? That's all
the important things.
All the important things. But I took Russian in college, so I was able to get around. I can read it better than I can speak it for all these places like Spanish, French.
Yeah.
So if I get on I'm pretty comfortable if I get on a subway or public transportation. I can get around. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's just something.
You think that's the reason why a lot of the crew do just stay in their hotel rooms because they find it uncomfortable to go out?
It's a hassle. Like, I'm wandering around the streets of Rio de Janeiro like an idiot, you know. Yeah,
I hear that. Yeah, it's pretty rough down there.
Yeah, I wish somebody would have told me. You know, it's like you know, you can just get murdered like for no reason. Oh yeah, because I was just walking around, you know, trying to figure out where you know I left the cell phone. You know,
I heard Sao Paulo's no picnic either.
Oh, and I just wander around these places. You know what I mean? You know, if you act like you should be there, and you got to be serious. I'm not joking.
You got to act like you know where you are.
Oh yeah,
too.
And when you're me, I look scary. And nobody's. I remember walking through New York City like the first time I was sitting there, and I was in a particularly foul mood, and I have my leather biker jacket on, and there was like some kind of I'll say it because it's what it was, like this Kill Whitey protest thing going on. You know, there's like all these black Muslims on the corner, and they're, you know, preaching blah blah blah, the white man, this that. And I don't know. I'm just walking down the street. And next thing I know, I'm in the middle of all these people, and it just parts. Because I've got
long-haired, crazy-looking biker dude.
I've got that, and they're like, this guy got to be crazy if he's walking up through here, you know. And me, I'm just like, you know, I'm in my own world, you know. Just I can't hear, you know. So I really I walk with my head down. Everybody says to me, why do you walk with your head down? You know, and I'll tell you why. I find money. You wouldn't believe how much money I find on the ground just like laying there. It's like, you know, and this it sounds bad too, but when you're like at a concert, you can find like guitar picks, find money. I find drugs all the time. I say to my buddy, hey, man, look what I found on the ground. I go, where'd you get that?
Yeah, the cleaning crew or any show must find some amazing stuff.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I'm passing it off, you know, and then you tell them afterwards, they're floor drugs. You know, it's like, floor drugs? What? You found this on the floor? I'm like, oh, yeah, you didn't buy it off of somebody? Why did I buy it? That's why I walk with my head down, you know. Find money to buy you drugs? I don't think so. If I'm going to find money, I'm going to buy a pizza or something with it. So, you know, but yeah, so that's people say, well, so like I said, I'm walking down in New York City, got my head down, I don't even see what I'm doing. I just know there's people around me, I can't hear, and I look up and I'm in the middle of like all these people, and they just rally. Like, and I, you know, it must have been the face that I made because I'm like, and it just people just
they part the seats.
You know, part. Yeah, and it's just awesome. And hell, I was just up there for I got it. Haven't told you. I'm heading up there again.
Let's
Thursday.
Talk about that. Yeah,
I'm heading up there Thursday. I get to do a TV show on Thursday again.
Let's talk about it. What TV show is it?
It's called The Deuce. Mm-hmm. It's you know, it just gives me a little bit of acting. It's a little taste.
And please tell the audience the character you're playing, Fred.
You know what? I don't know what I'm doing this time. The last time I was a seedy guy.
Yeah, the seedy guy.
Yeah, I was right. And I'll tell you what, I looked pretty seedy. You know what I mean? And I walk up and down the street in New York, and it's, you know.
That's pretty cool, though. That's a pretty good drive. I mean, how's that filming work for you?
I do it just for me.
Because you love it.
I do it for shits and giggles. I just drive up there. You know, I'm losing money in the deal, or I'm going to break even. You know what I mean? But it's you know, you kind of do that, and you go up and have fun, and you know, just.
Talk a little bit about one area we didn't talk about ever, you and I. So this will be new ground for me, too. What about the Baltic states and touring up there? And you see so much, I guess I don't know if they call it death metal or black metal or whatever that genre is, but it's very prevalent up there. And the theory has always been that I understood is they get to see a little sunlight a portion of the year, and
you mean up in like Scandinavia and stuff like that?
Scandinavia, yeah. This is Sweden, and I was told that it's almost the black metal is almost kind of like a thing. Even the older generation just knows what it is.
Yeah, you get listen to some. You can't even read what their shirts say. It's just like, you know, it's like
a bunch of twigs up in the bush.
Yeah, you know, it's like, let's go burn a church.
It's a big thing over there.
It is. And I'll tell you.
So how are Western bands that are not black metal received up there?
Oh, they love them. I mean, it's good. I mean, it's
Have
just.
You toured up there?
Oh yeah, I've been there. I've been up to the Arctic Circle. What's amazing in the summertime, mosquitoes get to be about this big. They're giant. Like literally. They carry knives. They don't even fool around.
Knives.
They stab you with a knife, and then they got a straw, and they sit back and they just go. These things are giant.
That's great.
They leave a welt on you like you. And I didn't die from this thing, but I think he was just going to suck all my blood out. But these things are huge.
Knives.
And here's what's bad. You know, figure I can't sleep as it is. I'm up constantly. I try to go to bed. I try to go to sleep, and I can't get any rest. Try going to some place where it's light for 23 hours of the day.
Yeah,
and you're sitting there going, oh, my God.
How's that work?
Oh, it sucks. Because there's people still outside your house or your hotel room, and they're partying because, dude, it's a festival, and it's still daylight. And it's just like, really? Because it's, you know. It's
3 in the morning.
It's 3 in the morning. The sun's been down for 20 seconds, you know, and now it's back up, you know. And it really does do that, man. I mean, it's you're up there, and it's daylight all the time. And I've been there in the wintertime, and it's brutal. I remember going from like Moscow to St. Petersburg to Helsinki to Oslo to Gothenburg, then to I think we ended in Oslo. Stockholm,
yeah.
Gothenburg to Oslo.
Oslo is the most north out of those, right?
Well, it's the closest. It's in Norway, and I love Oslo. Mm-hmm. It's so freezing cold in the wintertime. It's like the whole bay, the whole thing freezes over, and it's just like, wow. I mean, how do they even get in and out of here? And it's brutally cold, and here's me going, yeah, let's go walk around, check the place out. It's like, you get down there to the harbor, and the wind's like, there's nothing to block the wind, and you're going, freeze it, idiot. Oh, I did this in the summertime last year. It was beautiful. Blah, blah, blah. Let's check it out in the wintertime. And you're sitting there going, there's nothing that can prepare you for that kind of cold. Even like the Russian winter kind of cold. We took a trip.
Did you guys ever go to Siberia?
No, I've never been out that way. I mean, we've been to Kiev, Moscow, and St. Petersburg. It's all I've been in Russia. I've been down to like Turkey, Romania, Sofia, Bulgaria, where we did. The thing about Sofia, Bulgaria, we did that Big Four show there, and they have like shacks, like the poor people, like the the slums, and there's like a donkey on the road in Bulgaria, and it's just out of Borat, man. I mean, it looks just like Borat. Like you've got like.
Oh my God! You made me watch that movie.
I am not joking when I say this, man. There's like the
I
fat
think our
guy.
friendship was formed on Borat. You remember that being?
There's this fat guy like sitting in this car, and his wife and a babushka's out back like, trying to. It's like really something we saw on the road, and they're going like this. He's going like this, and the woman's trying to push this fat guy up the hill in a car. It's just like, wow, this is straight out of Borat, and. You're sitting there, you're going, wow, there's a lot of women that broke down on this highway. And you're sitting there, that poor lady, man. Look, there's two of them. And they're not wearing hardly anything. There's a lot of female car problems on here. No, they're all hookers along the road. And you're just like, wow, we are not in Kansas anymore.
No, obviously not.
So we go to like Bulgaria, and like pulling it, and we're sitting there. And I'm a big history fan. So, all these Roman roads, because all that stuff, Romania, Bulgaria, it's all Roman. It was all part of the territory.
Sure.
And, they're sitting there, and I'm like walking around, and they're archaeological digs and stuff like that. And this is great, and blah, blah, blah. And they've got like all these like slums. But every one of them has a satellite dish on the roof. Every single one of them. Like down the line.
Someone else told me that.
They all
too,
have like Dish
Europe.
TV and stuff like that. It's just like, wow, really? So you're living
There's that link.
You're living in a shack, and
that's their priorities.
Exactly. But and like I said, I go over there. These kids were going to rob me in Bulgaria one time. Romania, and they're in the subway, and they came up, and then they said they started speaking in Romanian, and I could tell what they wanted. They wanted to rob me, and it was going on and on and on, and finally I ended up speaking English to them, and they said, "Why aren't you afraid of me? Why aren't you afraid?" It was like a whole gang of like teenagers, and I'm like, "You guys seem pretty nice." They're like, "But we could have robbed you. And I'm like, hey, what are you going to get? I've got nothing on me. They're like, what? I'm like, you asked me for cigarettes. I said, no. You asked me for money. I said, no. I said, what do you want to take from me? And the kid's like, well, do you have anything? I'm like, no, if I had it, I would have gave it to you. You know what I mean? If I had a cigarette, I would have given you a cigarette. If I had money and you guys look pretty, desperate, I would have given you money. And they're like, well, why aren't you afraid? I'm like, why should I be afraid? Because we could rob you. I'm like,
of what?
Of what? I've got nothing. So I ended up hanging out with these kids.
Oh my God! That's
and we robbed a few people, but I made some money that day. It was all right. I got enough to get me to Dracula's castle. But I had a great time. But no, I didn't rob anybody. But I remember
the Czech Republic.
I love the Czech Republic. Prague. I went to the Bone Church in Prague.
Yeah,
it's
what's
outside
the story with that?
Oh my God, the Bone Church.
Is there one in France too? Those are the
catacombs down under.
Yeah.
But the Bone Church is like it's church entirely made out of bones and stuff like that. And I went with all band Slayer. I went with Slayer, and we had a.
Just makes sense.
Yeah,
it?
I mean, if you got to go to the Bone Church, you got to go.
Might
with
as
Slayer.
well get the Slayer crew.
And so we went and we had a great time, and
naturally,
it was a blast. And they had like the Great Race Israel was filming,
And James Lomenzo was in that Great Race, right?
Lomenzo was in a Great Race, but that was for America. But each country has like a version of it.
Okay.
So it's like all these like Israel people that all these Jewish people were doing the Great Race, and of course we've been drinking all day, and we want to see the clues, and you can't. Please do not touch. They're not even here yet. I just want to see the clue. Now, please, come on. And so we kept trying to like slide in. They had to answer the questions, and we're sitting there going 13. The answer's 13.
That's great. That's great. That's great, dude.
Will you please stop doing it?
That's great.
So we spend our time at this church, that's made out of all bones and stuff like that. And it's really, really cool. And someone says to me, "Hey, look, there's some absinthe."
They don't have to say that twice, do they?
What they shouldn't have told me was, "Hey, look, there's some absinthe." And we've talked about this. Absinthe will really, really, really put a hurting on you. And you hallucinate, and you do horrible, horrible things.
As you're going to the Bone Church.
As coming home from the Bone Church.
Oh.
So we're sitting there, and Kerry King, who would drink just about anything.
Of Slayer.
I've got this green fairy absinthe. I'm like, hey, look, man, you got some absinthe. Okay, count me in. So I pour him a shot. I do a shot. And
do you sip that or run it?
Oh yeah, you're supposed to put sugar on it. You got to do this whole way. No, you know what? That takes too long. I just drink it.
Okay.
All right. So dump that. I get this shot. I do my shot. We're so cheers, Kerry. Good to see you. He's like, nope. And he dumps it out. He's like, nope. And
Big bad Kerry King couldn't do it.
Oh yeah. He's like, screw this. So they're sitting with me on the bus. It's a 45-minute bus ride back to Prague. And here I am, running the mouth. It's pretty good. I like it. Yeah, you like it so much. Why don't you finish that bottle? See if you can finish the bottle by the time you get back to the hotel. Oh, what, 45 minutes? Not a problem. There's a picture of me in this hotel lobby. I'm walking into a tree. Someone took this picture. It's me going, and it's just like me getting crushed by this. I walked into it. I didn't even see it.
The trees don't move, Fred.
Well, you know what? I was going for the one in the middle because there was a bunch of them.
That were moving.
Oh, they were moving. And, and it's just, it's a hilarious picture, but my face is like, as I crush into this thing. It was like one of those taken at the right moment kind of things. But I love Prague. I love Budapest, Warsaw. I've been lucky enough to see just about everywhere, man. And I'm eternally grateful for the time.
Well, the Poles like their rock and roll.
Oh yeah. And they're all those metal bands over there. They have careers. Like you can have a career of just like Paul Gilbert and Marty Friedman have careers in Japan.
Yeah. So when things kind of get burned out over here in the States, it's. There was a chapter in a book once about rock and roll, and one of the chapters was this band fell in love with the third world because they basically had worn out their welcome in the States, but they could go to the third world and just sell a bazillion records and tour well and the whole thing.
Megadeth in South America grandmothers know who they are. You'd think it to be like young girls hanging out. No, you've got like some 80-year-old lady wanting her boob signed. She's like, she's lifting up she signed this thing right here, and but
the crowds are huge,
and
there,
they
right?
are. Those are soccer stadiums. South America is like soccer stadiums.
Is that not so? Okay, I've seen video. I've never experienced it, but I've seen video of 60, 80, 100,000 people, and they bounce. And it seems
and you
like
can feel it.
And it's like, to me, that'd be a little unsettling to me to sit and watch the power of that in some degree.
Oh yeah, you get seasick. It's like, whoa. No,
I mean,
to watch it, it's amazing. There were places we played where you have 100,000 people inside, and there's still 20,000 people outside that can't get in.
Wow.
And they're going to protest, or they're going to rip down the walls, or they're going to do anything to get in, but you can't even see it because they're around the corner. And I've been lucky enough to, play shows with Sabbath like that, and Iron Maiden, and in support of these guys, and it's just, to me, it gives me goosebumps.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we did. Our
festival's crazy. Like there's a 3-day festival. Let's say Megadeth is maybe the head billing for the second day, but the whole operation where you've got maybe 14 bands in front of you for the day, maybe. So,
yeah.
I mean, is it easier for you, or is it harder for you? Hard to say.
It depends on my mood that day. I get it.
That's a European thing, or no, and it's not just a European thing. It's all over the world, except here. We just don't do the festival the right way.
We don't do
States.
it right.
Why is that?
It's just it's somebody's idea of making money.
It used to be an US festival, right? In the 80s. And
they don't. It is what it is now. Now you have like these different, whatever they have out in Columbus or whatever. Now they have like the Rebellion.
Okay, there's a Burning Man, right?
Burning Man. Yeah.
Burning Man.
Oh yeah.
Coachella.
We did Coachella. We went and we played it one year, and it was pretty cool. We did like a big 4 at out in Coachella, and
so it was you, Anthrax, Metallica,
and Slayer. Yeah,
Slayer, yeah.
And so I mean, it was cool, but it was dusty. It was hot. Those things are stressful. Like,
but overseas though, it's different, right?
Yeah. But the thing is if you're a headlining band, you have to be there at like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Why?
To set up your gear, and the other bands set up around you.
And there could be 12 bands in front of you.
Yep. So, but you have to get and mark your footprint, and you get there early.
Wow, that's crazy.
And so, I'm at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Like Kiss and his band, same thing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's like you're there at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and you're sitting there going, and you could have just been driving in or flying in, actually.
Right.
Some of these places we've just flown into.
Go straight from the airport right to the
straight there,
venue.
And you're there all day. And it's not like you can sleep because you've got, it's a PA right outside of your bus or wherever you're at, so it's not like you're going to be sleeping. And, sometimes you go on at midnight and play your hour-and-a-half set to tear it all down, to hop in a bus, to be somewhere as fast as you can for the next day because you're headlining somewhere else.
So it sounds like it's a little tougher than the regular.
It is.
But the band probably gets paid more.
Yeah,
your headline.
The band gets good money to headline and stuff like that. So I mean, for the band, it's great. For us, it's work. You know what I mean?
Did you ever Venezuela? Did you ever play Venezuela?
Mm-hmm.
You did.
Yeah, I like Venezuela.
You wouldn't like it today.
No, we did it not too long ago. We did it a couple years ago.
They're practically starving down there now. The country's in collapse, I believe.
We did it. We did a couple years ago. We did Colombia. Mm-hmm. I've been to Paraguay, Uruguay, done Argentina, done Chile. I did just about everything down in there.
Anything in Africa?
No.
You've never been to Africa?
I've never been to Africa. You know what? I would love to go to Morocco or South Africa just to say I did. I've done Middle East.
I can't believe in all the years you've toured, you've never been to an African country.
Yeah, see, I'd love to, man. But I've had friends that went to Morocco.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I'd love to go to Morocco just to see,
bands get a hard time politically when they go to South America. South Africa, excuse me.
Yeah, so I'd love to just even do South Africa.
Yeah.
Just to say I did it. But I think it's the logistics of
It's a long way.
It's a long way to go, and the money's got to be right. You know, I mean, even like going to Australia and New Zealand and stuff like that, it's a long way, and it's a lot of money, and the money has to be right, and the deal has to be right. So,
You like Australia?
I love Australia.
Frank and Belinda compound.
Oh, I've been hanging out with him.
He's been a friend of ours for a long time.
He's awesome, and you know.
And you really hung out with him. You went to his house?
Yeah, I went to his house.
Cool.
You know, and it was awesome. I got to see the guitars that we sent down there.
That's great. That's crazy, though.
And you know, and like I said, in Iraq, you know, we saw Tim Harder in Iraq.
You know, we're gonna talk about Iraq too, but with Australia, what do you love about it? And what don't you love about it?
You know what? It's you don't drive, you fly. Mm-hmm. And I was talking to Jasin Todd.
What do you mean?
Like it's too far. Like things are.
You mean like from Sydney to Melbourne? You just don't drive that.
No, you don't drive that.
From there to Perth.
Unless you've got a couple days and nothing to. I mean, there's nothing in between these cities.
Right.
And then and Perth's all the way on the other side. And
is that the Gold Coast?
You got me on that.
Okay.
I've never really asked, but yeah, I mean, you know, I held a koala bear.
Well, I will tell you, without a doubt. I've watched some videos on YouTube of some of the insects and things over there. That's a whole. I mean, you know, I think Frank and Belinda, our good friends there, have a farm. I think they have their house, and they have a farm as well. And I think I'd be afraid to let my child run through the grass over there.
There's snakes and spiders and. Did you ever get kicked by a kangaroo? It sucks.
I don't think I want to.
I got pooped on by a koala. I've had.
Do they eat kangaroo over there?
You know what? I never have, but I hear it's delicious. Tastes like chicken. I don't know. But I've never eaten kangaroo. But I don't know. Hey Tommy, if you're watching this, give us a call. Tell us what kangaroo tastes like. Jason's been down there. He's plays with some band from down in Australia, so he's been down. And they drove. It's just like you drove. Like, are you nuts? You know,
it's like from Sydney to Melbourne.
Yeah, it's like days with like, you know, with nothing in between. Like you fly and you go, wow, I'd hate to live there. There's nothing. You know what I mean? And then you get to like Sydney, and it's this beautiful, thriving city, and then. Brisbane and Melbourne, you play like 5 cities. I've never been up to the top, but there's like been people that've been, but just too far. And a
couple of people like George Extra Costas, a great guy, Michael Bass, all customers of ours, friends of ours over there. They were. We had a good contingent of people at Boogie Street Guitars from Australia. Contingent, and they were. And they still remain very good friends. So I always thought it was cool. I've never been able to get there. I really wanted to many years past. It just hasn't. The cards haven't lined up. But it was cool for you to get down there.
Oh
to see them, man.
And you know,
but they drink their beer warm.
Foster's.
That's the real Foster's down there.
Yeah, right.
Bogues, right? Bogues is the one that they recommended. And that's actually pretty good. Frank recommended it to me. Frank, if you're listening, I had to search that out up here. And I can't forget my good friend Gus as well down there. I met Gus through Frank. Ferenza, I believe. If I'm mispronouncing that name, Gus, I apologize. But you guys, these folks have been tremendous to us. They've sent us gifts and the whole thing, and over the years. But it just that culture is mind-numbing to me because it's so similar. It's so Western to me in a lot of ways. But they're so bloody far away.
Oh yeah, it's it's a long trip.
And usually it's what, out of L.A.? You fly LA.
Yeah, you
Sydney?
fly to L.A. and then it's, you know, you fly into either in Sydney or you know, one of the cities on the east coast of
Melbourne.
You know, Melbourne, Sydney.
Is there a
or
Geelong or something? Is there something called Geelong or something?
I don't.
Wallalong or something. I can't pronounce them right. Did you ever go to Indonesia?
Oh yeah. Yeah, Jakarta.
That's pretty close to.
Yeah,
it's relatively speaking, it's close to Australia.
Yeah, you know, it's in between that and China and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I mean, I've seen all that. I've been to the Philippines. I've been to
Vietnam.
I've never been to Vietnam. I've never been to Vietnam. I actually that'd be nice to go. I mean, I've been to Hong Kong.
Before or after they were acquired by China?
After.
Okay.
After. and but it's wonderful. It's a beautiful place.
People rave about it.
It's amazing.
And you didn't get caned.
No, I kept my mouth shut.
Hong Kong. Where was the caning at?
Singapore.
Singapore.
Been to Singapore?
Yeah, you came home without getting caned.
Came home without getting caned. Singapore. Trying to think of other places.
Italy. We were talking about Italy.
Yeah, I love Italy. Rome. I've been to Milan. I've been to
go to Sicily.
Rome.
Didn't make it out on the island, huh?
No, we never made it to Sicily. Never made it to Sicily. I'm trying to think of where. Someplace.
You won't get caned in Sicily. You'll just get shot and dumped in the ocean. or next, your neck slit or whatever they do there.
Yeah, it's a Sicilian necktie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, again, all these history things. I've been just about everywhere in Europe. I can't. It's an indescribable feeling to. Again, I sit around and say I'm going to retire. But then
you're in demand, Fred.
But you get the bug to go see. I look at the itinerary going, oh man, I've never been to this city or whatever. I want to see Greece again, or I want to go back and see Sergei in Russia. I want to go.
How do you feel about London and the UK?
Oh, I love London and the UK. I've been all over London. I've been I've seen all that.
Did you go to Stonehenge?
I've been to Stonehenge a couple times.
I'm so envious of that.
I've been to Stonehenge.
It's one place I want to be.
I've been to Stonehenge a couple times. It's awesome, man. And
there's no graffiti on there, is there?
No, there's no graffiti.
Okay.
It's really cool. It's just it's a little mystical place. But I mean, I've been to Cardiff, down in Wales, and I just like going to these old castles. I've been to Ireland.
Yeah. Did you take the Guinness tour?
I did take the Guinness tour.
And you learn how to effectively pour a pint?
Please go to my internet. No, or my Instagram.
I'm going to have to start paying attention, Fred.
So check it out. So I actually went on to the Guinness factory one time by myself, and it was raining, and there was like no one at it. I don't know what the deal was. No one wanted to go to the day
of the week.
I don't know. I can't remember. I mean, I woke up. I was drunk. I went to the Guinness factory, got drunker, and I came back and I was drunk.
That can happen there.
And but what was awesome is I went on this tour, and it was hardly anybody there.
Wow.
And so they give you like this little taste room. Mm-hmm. All right. And so we're doing this little taste thing, and there's like maybe, like I said, when there's nobody, there's like maybe 5 people there with me.
Right.
Well, would you like another? Well, my little leprechaun friend. Of course I do.
My little leprechaun friend.
I got totally smashed drinking these little. That's a revolving theme with me getting smashed on samples.
Well, it's free.
Well, it's free. So I'm sitting there drinking these samples, all right? And the next thing I know, the guy, me and some dude are just standing there going, yeah, we're telling her. So anyway, I'm from America. So tell me a little about America. Oh, yeah, we're just straight. And they're just like coming down. He's just drinking another one. Would you like another one? Yeah. So we go up, finally get to the end. I can't even walk. I'm like, hey, I'm not a beer drinker, but I've been sitting in this like sample place for like an hour.
Yeah.
Me and some dude like talking, just like, just kicking back shots of beer.
Right.
And they give you the 2 free ones or whatever at the top. You get to pour your own. And you sit there and drink that. And I'm going to go upstairs. Yeah, I got all gooned at the Guinness factory. But
how are the Ireland crowds?
Oh, they're good. We went to in Cork. We went to Cork. I kissed the Blarney Stone. I kissed the Blarney Stone in Cork. And it was great because we were over there and there was a Megadeth tribute band playing. I mean, here's me like wandering around in the afternoon. Now, yeah, I drank a little bit and I found this bar. It was like this metal bar like in the afternoon. So I started drinking there and they're like, you've got to come back tonight. There's a Megadeth tribute band. I'm like, oh, really? Yeah, the Megadeth, they're playing Cork. They're playing Cork. Yeah, he didn't know I was a Megadeth. I was just some American guy there,
right.
Long hair. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's great. I'd love to see Megadeth. Well, there's a tribute band. The dude was, he was a Boogie Street guy. And he saw me in the
really.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
We went, and he's like a Boogie Street shirt
That's
on.
Crazy.
And the guy's like freaking out, So I bring Broderick down, and Chris Broderick, and I tell Mustaine about it, And Mustaine comes down.
That's nuts.
And he puts all his hair up in a little beanie. And he's standing there, and a guy comes up to me. He's like, "Oh, it's so good to meet you, man." Blah blah. And he's sitting there talking, and he looks at me and Mustaine. He goes, "Any chance of Mustaine coming down?" I'm like, "He might be sticking around, but you never know. You never know if he was here." Dave's like, he didn't recognize me. He has all his hair up in a hat. And we actually we watched these bands, and they were really good. But I loved it. The dude had a Boogie Street shirt on.
That is so cool.
This rocks. And But I've been to Dublin. It
all started over there. Like the music we love, that English flavor.
Oh yeah,
I'm not saying it's entirely English. I mean, we Americanized it, obviously, but it started there.
Well, Thin Lizzy. When I go, I always have to. I've been to Dublin, and I go looking for the Phil Lynott. I go looking for the statue, and every time I go. Someone was driving down the street and ran
I heard that.
They ran a statue over
multiple times. I've heard. Yeah,
like every time I go. So
Fred, it's Ireland. They drink a lot
but
over there.
I can't even see how they got that far down this one-way street because it's like blocked off. So. But yeah, so every time I've gone, I've never got to see the statue. I've got to see the little statue, but I've never got to see the statue. But I've taken some great pictures over there: castles, gargoyles, cemeteries. I've had a blast. I kissed the Blarney Stone. You have to hang upside down and do this. And you know why they did that? They said that it gives you the gift of gab. But what they really did was back in the day, they'd have to hold you, and it was like to kiss it, and women would go to kiss it, and their dresses would fall up over their heads. And that's what they told me. And me, Mr. Germaphobe, I'm like swishing like hand sanitizer in my mouth, kissing this thing because everybody's sitting there, and it's over the years like it's worn away from people's lips. So yeah, it's buffed, shiny from people's lips. And I'm going, just break me out that hand sanitizer there. I'm like sitting there swishing.
Mr. Salmonella here.
Oh yeah, Mr. Yeah. Everybody behind me, you're welcome. Stuff like that. But I was in Dublin. Now I have a very, very fragile view of myself, and I'm just some guy, you know what I mean? And I'm sitting there in Dublin, and I'm at this bar, and this woman comes up to me, this Irish woman, very drunk Irish woman. And
you probably didn't have to look far over there to find one.
No. And she goes, "This is just like the ones in of all places in Dublin."
Yes.
And oh my God, I didn't put two and two together.
It's a big red light district over there, Fred.
So this woman comes. She goes, "Can I say something to you?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." She goes, "You've got to be the most hideous man I've ever seen in my life." And I'm like, and she's like, and I like literally, I didn't even realize this that there was a club in L.A. called Dublin's that we used to wait for, and they told us I was hideous. In Dublin, some woman told, and she goes, no, I'm trying to help you out. She's like, your face is just hideous. And she goes, get a haircut, man. She goes, shave your face, show some respect for yourself. And she's like, oh my God, I had a wedding ring on. She's like, you're married. How does your wife stand to look at you?
Oh my!
And I'm like,
God.
I'm just trying to help you out. She goes, you need to do something. And I'm sitting there, and she's a very, very large woman, and she can't even stand. And she's
sturdy.
Yeah, she's sturdy. Yeah, and I'm up against a pole, and I'm waiting for Mustaine to show up so we can go watch this guitar player play.
Right.
And she's falling into me. She's like, you are just hideous. And she's sitting there, I'm like, and she's like falling in there, and the bartender's laughing. And I'm like, yeah, can you save me here, buddy? And he goes, well, would you like another? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, you're drinking Guinness. She goes, this piss out of the River Liffey. And she's like, drinking Guinness. She's like, oh, it's that. And I'm like, and he goes, there you go. And she goes, and I'd like a Jameson and Diet Coke. I'm like, Diet Coke? You know, the guy comes over.
So late now, ain't it?
The The guy comes over and takes my money. I'm like, hey, what are you doing? He goes, I'm like, what, you know, what's it? What's it?
Advice,
yeah, and she's sitting there. She's like, thank you, love, but that's for the advice, you know. It's just like,
oh my god.
And I'm like,
so you really paid for an insult?
Yeah. I'm like, how much is that? He goes, well, it's $7 for the Jameson. And $7 for the Diet Coke. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me!
$14.
It's like I'm drinking Guinness, and it's like, you know, $2.50.
You're the tourist, pal.
Oh my god, I'm getting I'm getting like worked over.
Oh, that's terrible.
But I remember, because I go to off the beaten path. I go like
you
to these.
Find the real culture there, right?
Oh yeah. I go to like these mom and pop bars or whatever. And I just remember the one time I was there. Now this was at the Temple Bar because it was across the street from the hotel. There was a guitar player playing. Me and Dave were supposed to be there. Dave wasn't there yet. But I will go, if this is the tourist end of town, I go to the complete opposite end of town. And I find things on my own, you know, like the real culture, you know, like a mom and pop owned tavern.
Outside of India, would you find better restaurants there?
You'd find more authentic.
Doesn't necessarily mean better.
Doesn't mean better, but, you know, I mean, I really don't want to eat sheep balls. You know, it's just, but they have them. You can get them. It's right here on the menu. I'm kind of looking for more something like a hamburger.
Yeah,
well, you're
staying away from the testicle thing.
We have a sheep burger. Nah, you know, I think I picked the wrong place. But
that's hysterical.
But yeah, I've gone to. You know, I normally try to eat away from, you know, like public places. I've gone to places in Germany. I mean, dude, it's like, yeah, could I get like a pig knuckle?
Pig knuckle.
Oh my gosh! And they bring you this hunk of pig that's like this big, and it's like the knee or whatever, a shank of a pig, and it's just like, and it's so good.
Really?
But you wouldn't find it. It wouldn't be as good as if you went to like a touristy spot. Sure. But you go like to these out of the way bars, and it's just like, wow, this is great. How much is this? What? You know, if you bought that downtown, it'd be, you know, like you know, 30 euros. It's like 10 euros. You know,
right.
It's like, and it's just like you can't even eat it. You're sitting there. You got pig grease all over you. You're just like sitting there. You're like dying in the chair. And
all right, so of all the places you've been, you know, I'm not saying what was your best meal, but what was one of your best meals? Not just because the band's notoriously every once in a while you guys will go out in a group and eat, and oftentimes you go to an upscale restaurant. I mean, obviously it depends on the bar, it depends on the location, and of course it depends on the band. But did you ever have like an amazing meal, maybe like almost like a castle setting where the ambiance was amazing, the food was unbelievable, the camaraderie was great? Are there memorable meals that you can remember back from tours?
Yeah, there's this place in India.
A guy named Raj.
I'll never forget that place. Yeah, I mean, there's been. Oh man. There's been places I've been thrown out of.
Well, that's always very memorable.
Yeah, you kind of remember.
In terms of the quality of the meal and just the whole experience.
Trying to really think of. There was a place in Germany I ate kangaroo. I didn't have kangaroo, but I did have lion, zebra, and crocodile. And what I did was I mixed them all together
in a stew.
I mixed them all together in this plate with some beef, so I wouldn't know when I ate it. But I knew if I ate it all, I would have it. You know what? You can tell. You can actually tell.
I would imagine so.
There's a big difference between beef and zebra. You know, there's a big difference between beef and lion.
Fred, zebra is technically a flippin' horse, right?
Yeah. Well, it's cheval, and you can go to Swiss, you can go to Switzerland, and you can just say, hey, I want some, and they'll give you a horse steak, and it's just like. What'd you get? You got the cheval? You know, somebody doesn't know. I'll have the steak, please. It was cheval? Yeah, sure, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a. But I mean, I've had some. Man, I love eating in South America.
What about in Italy? You've had to have had some good meals in Italy.
You know what? I was on my whole gluten-free thing in Italy, and I was, but I ate it, and it was good. I've eaten right outside the Vatican, and and it was these restaurants. Italian food is great.
Did you guys tour the Vatican?
Yeah, I went around the Vatican. I actually did, and I had this great picture the ceiling, where God's touching Adam and stuff like that. And you're not allowed to take pictures. And this woman was about like 4'8", and she's beating me for taking pictures. And she said, no. She's sitting there yelling at me. And I'm like, I'm looking around, and there's all these other people going like this, but she's singling me out. And she's smacking me with the stick.
You're the ugly American.
I'm the ugly American. And she's smacking me with this stick. So I went like this. I went, like when she wasn't looking. I got this perfect shot.
Really?
And it was my screensaver on my laptop forever. And it was just
Michelangelo's?
Yeah. And it was just, it was perfect. I've been to, I've seen the actual Last Supper, Da Vinci's Last Supper.
Wow.
I've seen the real Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I do. I go out and I go find these things. And I use this app called Get Your Guide. And it takes you and it shows you I jumped the line legally. I don't have to like pay 13 cents to jump the line.
Rubles.
And but I use this app and I go to these places and I find good restaurants. There was this place in Argentina. I don't know the name of it. My friends will know. They're probably squaring at me right now, going, "We've been there 100 times." But I go to this place in Buenos Aires all the time, and it's like you go there and there's like a goat on a spit, in the thing. I don't eat the goat. But
you don't think you eat the goat?
Yeah, but they keep bringing you meat, and that's all I eat is meat anyway.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a fogo de chao or something up here.
Well, the Brazilian steakhouse are supposed to be amazing.
Well, that's the
real ones.
Yeah, well, I've been to like fogo de chao in Brazil.
Right,
yep.
right.
So this is along those lines of this, and like literally, it's all you can eat, and you walk out of this place and your stuff. So we got tanked one time down there. And we're all hanging out. And it was just like 4 of us, and we're like, "Oh yeah, sure." Hey, Kristen, what's the conversion rate? We want to get another bottle of wine. What's this bottle of wine cost? Somebody's already had a couple glasses of wine. They're sitting there putting in the number, and it's like, like it's like $20, $25. All right, yeah. Give us a couple more bottles of wine. Give us a couple bottles of wine. Sir, if you really, really like this, we can take you down to the wine cellar. All right, let's take a look. Get on the wine cellar. You do a private little tour of the wine cellar, sitting down there buying bottles. You know what? I think I'll buy me about 4 of these bottles of wine. Take them home. They're great. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, the decimal point was in the wrong place. So when I got my bill,
200 a clip.
Oh, 250 a clip.
Nice.
And I've already drank 4 by myself. I'm buying 4 more to take home. Yeah, it's like you're sitting there going, I gotta hide this bill somewhere.
No.
And but it was such a good wine. And then I find it. I'm up here in Baltimore the other day. I'm like shopping at this like wine store. I'm like, la da 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 da.
They had it
like $8.50. It's like $8.50 a bottle.
You gotta be kidding me.
It's just like wait a second. Because I was in the restaurant in the high end restaurant,
You got hosed.
And it's just like I'm like sitting there looking at this going, So, but
you did some zip lining. I've seen some really cool
in Costa Rica.
Yeah, man.
Costa Rica.
Is that on your Instagram page?
No,
you ought to put it on your Instagram.
You know
page.
what? I was in Chile and somebody stole all my hard drives and my laptop, and I lost all that stuff. I lost 20 years.
This is the year before cloud. Having everything stored in the cloud. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So what I had done, what had happened was,
what had happened is,
I said to myself, I'm not going to drink on this tour. I'm going to stay sober.
Kind of like our podcast today.
Yeah. Look at you liking it, and look at that.
I can't believe you've been on your very best behavior today, Fred.
On my best behavior.
But the story's been great.
But so I'm down there, and someone steals my laptop and all my hard drives. 20 years of touring or whatever, pictures of my kids. I lost everything. So I don't even have any of this stuff anymore.
I remember seeing the zip line. That was impressive.
The zip line was
terrifying to me. I don't care for heights, but
I'm terrified of heights. And and I'm sitting there going,
you used to hang upside down in the Civic Arena and do pull-ups. I remember those days.
And like literally, I'm terrified. And there's like this canyon and there's a waterfall, and I'm like, this is beautiful, you know, and you're flying over this stuff. But yeah, it was awesome. I mean, again, I've got to do a lot of great things, and when that was in Costa Rica. So
wait, let me forget before I forget, because I will forget. You showed me the most horrifying bungee jump off of some needle in Vegas or Seattle. Am I right?
Oh, you're right.
Do you have that film footage?
No.
Oh, my
because
gosh.
it's gone. But
you and Broderick did that, right?
Yeah, I have somebody else's point of view of me on the ground watching me fall. We jumped off. We jumped off the stratosphere.
Where's that at?
It's in Vegas.
Okay.
And here's the thing: we're drunk as all day long. You know what I mean? And we got tuned up, and Broderick went with us, and
he didn't look too tuned up in the video.
No, he doesn't drink. He don't drink, and
he looked a little terrified up there though before he jumped.
Oh yeah, everybody does. So here I am. I'm drunk, and I wish I had this video. The guy's like, he goes to me, he goes, "Stop right there." And yeah, I think I will. Because you're standing on this little platform and you're looking down. And all you see is this little tiny bullseye, and that's where you're going to hit, like the coyote in Roadrunner, you know, Looney Tunes. And it's just like the guy goes, "Stop right there," and I'm like looking like, where the hell else am I going to go? And you're thinking to yourself, how qualified is this kid? I mean,
and from the video, he looked like he was like 14.
Yeah, it's like, you know, it's like 14. Okay, here you go. You know, stop right there.
Have a good time.
And you know, and literally, I said, you know what? I'm afraid of heights. I'm terrified of heights. And I just sat there and said, you know what? I'm just going for it, and I did. And I just. Okay, going down, I was down, and you're free falling, and it's just like,
how does that work?
Well, they have it on cables, and as you get close to the bottom, the drum gets bigger, and it slows you down, and then eventually you just, but you're falling, yeah, you're falling at a good rate. You're falling at about 60, 70 miles an hour, and it's just like, and you're so high up, you know, you're 800 and almost 900 feet up. And you just jump off, and it's just like, oh, this is great, you know. Blah, and I think it was like, I'm the luckiest boy alive. Something like that.
Yeah. You filmed it or something.
I had a GoPro, and it's just like, and I'm sitting there watching.
That's a shame you don't have that footage.
Oh my god, it was a blast. But yeah, I jumped off a building. I've been up in the Burj Khalifa. I've been in like in the tallest buildings in the world. And the other day, I was in New York City, and I just didn't have the time to go to One World Trade Center. Now I got to be back up there on Thursday for a show. I don't know. It depends on what time. Maybe I'll make it, but I really don't want to get down into downtown Manhattan. I'm going out to Long Island to film on this TV show.
Are you under a bridge?
What's no?
Are you under a bridge?
I don't know what I'm gonna. But so I. You know, I've been to all the tall buildings. Hong Kong's got a bunch of them. You know, so
you see those crazy people on YouTube that walk on the edge of buildings.
Forget that.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. You know what's funny?
Those people are crazy.
I've done it a few times, like for movie work, like downtown Pittsburgh, cinematic community. Oh no! I'm just gonna walk out on this ledge. You know, it's just like and set up this like light. You know, it's just like. You know, there used to be a picture of me like standing on like the city county building on this like ledge that's like this big. And I was young and I was dumb, but you know what? It was exciting because because nobody can stop me. I'm going to walk right out on this ledge. Look at this. I'm dancing on this ledge like an idiot, you know. But, you know, I've actually walked out on ledges and just went, wow, this is crazy. And just thinking, wow, I hope that window doesn't shut. And, you know, stuff like that. But, I've been in the tallest buildings, like I said, the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, the buildings in Hong Kong, Shanghai.
Did you ever fly any private planes touring?
So check it out. They were going to do a private plane out of I think it was from Spain or from Portugal to. I don't know, Moscow or something one time.
For the whole band?
Yeah, and band and crew. Band and crew were going to do it. But they only had, there's 13 of us, and they only had room for
10.
No, they only had room for 12. And I said, you know what? I'll take one for the team. I'll fly commercial. They got me the shittiest airline in like Europe, and like a crash rate of like 61%.
Hope and pray.
And I'm like thinking, boy, this really sucks. Boy, they screwed. They're flying a private plane, but yeah. So I'm cursing them all the way there.
Right.
I get there, jump through a bunch of hoops, get in, blah blah, and I hear the nightmare. It was a private plane. They had 6 seats. One was for the pilot, one was for the tour manager, 4 were for the band. They put the crew in the cargo area.
Oh, come on.
Oh, dead serious.
Is that even legal?
I don't know. It's Europe. They put the crew in the cargo area with the suitcases with no seats. They had nowhere to sit, and they're like laying on their own suitcases and stuff like that. So here's me flying. I'm in a hotel sleeping, Here's me flying. It's the worst airline in Europe. Man, these guys, they really screwed me this time, And I ended up being okay in the deal, Got to hang out in Portugal, and because I had to go from Spain to Portugal to fly for some reason I can't remember, but it was quite fun. But I ended up.
That's crazy.
So I'm kind of glad I didn't get to.
How long was their flight?
I don't even know, but it was miserable.
You think?
It was miserable. Well, figure out if it would have been from, like I said, Spain to Moscow, whatever that is. That's pretty far.
Was Willie in there?
Willie was in there. Yeah. So Willie was in there. But I'm trying to think. I've taken helicopters to gigs.
You've taken helicopters to gigs.
Yeah.
How's that work?
Yeah, you just get on a helicopter and you got to fly.
Is that for a festival and things?
It was actually in Iraq. Iraq.
Let's talk about that. That's good. I'm glad you brought that up. So, was it 05 or 06? 05 maybe, huh?
06.
Shinedown went to Iraq as part of the USO tour.
Yeah. And we played Kuwait. We played three places in Iraq. We played Al-Assad, Fallujah, and Al-Taqadim. And, each one of these places is like an army base. And we fly low across the desert, and you've got, bulletproof vests.
Yeah, seeing you in a bulletproof vest was an eye-opener for me.
Oh, yeah. And, and here's me. I never wear my whatever I'm supposed to wear. If I'm supposed to carry a radio, I never take a radio. I'm supposed to wear this bulletproof vest. Nah.
You weren't allowed. You weren't supposed to have any kind of T-shirts or anything that had labels or bands or brands on them. Well, wasn't that right?
It was. They just try to keep you inconspicuous. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. As I found out when I was doing a photo shoot for Guitar World, me and Jasin. We're up on this dune.
Like a shell was out hanging out of the ground or something.
It was an airplane. It's where he buried those. It's where he buried those airplanes. Saddam buried the airplanes in the sand. And so we're doing this shot, and I don't have my vest on. And then you see in the next picture, I've got my vest. You see me talking to the soldier, and I've got this big smile on my face. And you see me in the next one, I've got my vest on, my helmet, my sunglasses, everything's on. And the story is the guy came up. He goes, "Hey man." He goes, "Yeah, you're only." He goes, "You're on base, but right now I can guarantee you somebody's got your in a sight of a scope, and you're only a half mile away from the town. Somebody's watching you, and if they think that you're a big enough target, they're going to try to take you out." And you see me the next day, I get everything back on, sitting there, coming off the hill.
Wow.
But we shot, we did some pictures, and we went up in a helicopter and flew around, and it was a good time.
You were in a war zone, and you were
I'm in a war zone.
You were not afraid of that.
No. What can happen to me? You know what I mean?
Any alcohol over there?
No, because it's a Muslim country. We did have one beer. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
You just did.
But you know what I mean? We somebody brought us a beer and says, here you go. This is for the Marine Corps', 200 and whatever 100th birthday, and they gave us a beer, and so it was like a Budweiser or something like that, and so we had a beer over there, and said we're probably like the only, unenlisted people to ever have a beer, on this bass or whatever. But it was great. I mean, it was an eye-opening experience. You got to meet the people, got to see things. Like I said, I've been to the Middle East. I've been to Israel. I've been to Turkey.
Have
I love
seen
Turkey.
like the Sphinx and the...
No, I wish I did, because that'd be Africa.
What?
Africa. The Sphinx is in Egypt, which is Africa.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
I would have loved to have.
I never consider in my head.
Yeah.
I never picture Egypt as part of Africa.
Exactly. But no, I mean, I've been to the Wall in Jerusalem, and I went to where Christ was crucified, and it was way cool. Stuck my hand down in the hole there where because it's a rock, and that's where they used to do this at. This is the place where they killed people,
right.
And now they built this big church over it,
Right.
into the granite, into the bedrock, and like literally the holes where they used to put the crosses are still there.
Right.
And you can stick your hand down in there. It's like, that's pretty cool, yeah. But it was way cool, and
Did you ever drive on the Autobahn?
I have been on the Autobahn, and I've actually crossed the Autobahn a few times, trying to walk a straight line, across the Autobahn, and that's not smart. And I actually flew in for a show. My flight was delayed or canceled, and I had to fly in the next day. And they had a Jaguar pick me up on the Autobahn, at the airport, and I had like 200 miles to go.
That's pretty cool.
And I'd been up. I figured I'm going to get some sleep on the plane. And I always sit in the back. Well, I used to sit in the back. Now I only sit first class,
Times have changed.
Yeah. You know why I sat in the back? I think I've told you this before.
More room.
No. You ever see like a plane crash? You never see anything in the front. They're all gone. You see the tail. So I used to sit in the back of the plane.
You're playing the probability
That's
odds.
right. I'm no dummy.
Playing the odds.
And so I'm sitting in the back of the plane thinking, you know what? Nobody's going to bother me.
Right.
I see this woman walking in the back, and she's crying. And I'm like, oh, what are the odds? What are the odds? What are the odds? What are the odds? And she pops down in the seat next to me, and she's crying. And I'm like, nah. All I want to do is sleep. 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 I'm so sorry if I'm crying and keeping you up. No, you're not. You're really not.
Here we go.
I just had such a horrible day, and here I am. And I bitch and I whine.
Mr. Sympathetic Ear himself.
Oh yeah. And so here it is, like an 8-hour flight, 9-hour flight. No, I got to hear the whole story a couple times. You think my stories are long and rambling? And so I didn't get to sleep. So this car comes and picks me up in Frankfurt, and the guy, I go, I have to be there in 2 hours, man. He goes, oh, it is very far. I'm like, yeah. He goes, we will do our best. This guy, it was pegged. You can peg your car on the Autobahn, and he was just sitting there flying. And he goes, I hope I'm not scaring you. I'm like, I drive like this all the time. I don't know if you know this, but I'm
kind of a big deal.
kind of fast driver, and I fell asleep. And the guy says,
God, that's crazy.
He goes, I never would expected somebody to fall asleep driving like this. Man, that Jaguar was so smooth. The Autobahn, there's not a pothole, there's not a ripple, there's not a rumble strip. Right. Dude, he got me there in like an hour and a half. I got up, got out on stage. He's like, where have you been? I'm like, long story. But, yeah, I'm ready. So we went in, I got the show set up. Yeah, it's me. I just bang it all out.
So, Fred, many times you've told me over the years that you're approached by young folks that want to get into the business. And, and you always said it's tough. It's tough. You don't want to be the one giving that heavy-handed advice. And you're never a negative person, but at the same time, you have to, you're not. But
I play one on television.
Yes, but you want to be even-handed, too. And you don't want to blow smoke up someone's rear end as well.
Yeah.
What do you tell a young person out of the year 2019 who might want to be a guitar technician, and maybe want to make, at least for a portion of their life, make a career out of it?
Stay in school.
Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs. Stay in school. Don't drink like me. It is, in all honesty, stay in school. It's a hard life. People think it's all fun and games. It's not. It's hard work. It's a business. and you have to treat it as such. Yeah, you can go out and party with your friends and, you know, pick up chicks and get drunk and you
can try to do all those things.
But the thing is, you're not going to last. You're not going to last on the road. You know, yeah, the stories are that I drank. The stories are, you know, I was, you know, that we enjoyed ourselves. We enjoyed partying. We enjoyed, you know, drinking. But we stuck together. It wasn't like somebody was out running around and you watch down for each other. It's like girls in the bathroom. You know, we all go to the bathroom together. We don't let you leave with someone that we don't know. You know, and that was Black Label. You know what I mean?
You all had each other's back.
Yeah, and that's why I've always been lucky enough to have guys like that, like Zakk, who was married, Mike Inez, who had who had Sid, you know, Lomenzo, who was happily married, Elson, who was happily married, you know, Broderick, who had Stephanie. You know, these cats, they were my tour buddies. You know what I mean?
Grounded too.
Exactly. So I was always lucky enough to be around guys that were like-minded, who this is a business, and you know, that's how it is. And for the past 20 years, I've approached it as a business, and I think that's the key to my longevity. You know, no matter.
Is it too hard now for someone to get started? I mean,
it's easy, but but you have to go into a mindset of. Again, you can start out with partying with your friends like I did, but if you want any kind of success, you have to, you know, stay. You know, I also said that if I would have started this when I was young, I'd be dead. I would have never lasted. I would have been burnout, or you know, something would have happened to me, or whatever. But I was lucky enough to get into it with a mindset of, no, I'm gonna, you know. I'm going to show you, you know, and I have had longevity on it. I've had 20 years of a great life on the road, and I'm going to take this time right now to announce my retirement.
How short-lived that will be.
So anyway, advice for somebody starting out: learn what you can.
Right.
You know, people. I saw some guys the other day at KISS, and you know. The thing was, I knew these guys 20 years ago, and they're like, you never did a van tour, you never paid your dues. No, I paid my dues. I paid my dues in the local clubs, you know, here in Pittsburgh. I learned my craft. So when I did get that call, that rare call to the big leagues, I was able to stay.
You were ready to.
Yeah, I was ready, and I was focused. You have to stay focused on everything. You have to stay on top of your game, like everything. Again, I can work with guitars. I'm really not an amp guy, but I can get by. You know what I mean? If it comes down to it, I never wanted to be an amp guy. You know, but a guitar I can just look at and know what it needs.
Right. Because you immersed yourself in the instrument.
Exactly, and that's what I was getting to. You know, I know that if I change this and if I change that it'll do this. And it comes from years of practice. I had years of practice here at Boogie Street with a Floyd Rose. I was not a Floyd Rose guy. I'm the king of the Floyd Rose.
Yes, indeed.
You know, and I got to the point where I could bang out these setups, but you have to know your instrument, you have to know your craft, and it's like that with anything. You know,
right?
You can't just. I guess you can just jump in, but you're not going to last. You have to learn. I try to learn something new every day. I'm not ashamed to ask somebody a question. I'm a pain in the ass sometimes. Why'd you do that? That's how I learned. You know, Mike Sparks showed me on Bernice, Gary Rossington's guitar back in the day.
Right.
Being a stagehand here in town, I was lucky enough to be able to ask people questions.
Right.
And I said, hey, you know, why did you do this? Or what did you do? And this guy showed me how to change a string. And I changed strings like that every day for the past, you know, 28 years or whatever it was, you know. And that's how I do things. I mean, there's videos of me on the net, you know, showing you how to change strings and this and everything. But, you know, there's always ways to learn. So if you're a kid out there and you want to learn how to do something, you've got the internet now. Well, we didn't have that.
No.
I had to ask somebody.
Not at all.
And, you know, I'd go up to Dupre's and I'd ask Tim and Vic, you know, and stuff like, you know, hey, why'd you do that? Or this, that, and the other thing. But I also had the, you know, I had the the guitar techs that are coming through town, you know, Mike Sparks, Rudy Lyron, all these guys, and they were kind enough to answer questions. There was some real jerks that wouldn't answer anything
along the way.
And, you know what's funny is I see these guys, you know, like and it's like, hey, yeah, remember me? You know, it's just like, you know, Joe, and there were some guys that, you know, that treated me badly coming in. And now it's just like I'm the guy that's in demand. Oh, you're that guy?
Yeah.
Oh,
Change your tune.
Yeah. You know. So it actually it's happened a few times, and you know. But there was, you know, there's been people I've read about that, you know, like I said, you know, Rudy Lyron, Jim Service, like who's been great. A great friend, and I used to read about these guys, and it's just like, man, these guys are so awesome, you know. And, you know, and I call Jim up, you know, and I'll ask him, you know, hey man, what do you know, and so, you know, we get together whenever they're in town or whatever. But you know, there's always things now on the internet that can show you what to do. So if I would tell a kid, you know, learn what you can about your craft. Know it's going to be hard. You're not going to have a normal, but I guess when you're young, it doesn't make a difference to you. But
you're more adaptable when you're young.
Exactly. But as you get older, touring's ruined every relationship I had.
It's taking its toll.
It ruins your family. It ruins your business. You know what I mean? Look what we were doing. We were making straps. We were making guitars. And then I go on tour. I had a band. I don't have a band anymore because I had, you know, I sit around, you play for 3 months. It's like, yeah, we're ready to go. It's gonna, you know, I can leave any time, guys. Yeah. First show's Saturday. Yeah, Thursday I get a call. I need you tomorrow, and it's just, you know, and then you're gone.
Yeah,
and that's how it is. Relationships.
It's hard.
It's hard, you know, and it's ruined. It's ruined every one I had. You know, you miss holidays. You miss Halloween. You miss Thanksgiving. You miss.
But for a single, it's probably easier for a single person.
For a single person, if you prefer to be single, you know, I don't have that. I have to, you know, I don't know.
People person.
I like to. I don't know. I like being secure.
Right.
But with the road, it's different. It's very lonely. You know, people, you know, the drinking's notorious, the stories, the this, that, the other thing. It came from being lonely, and you do drugs because you're bored. You see these guys out there, and that's all it is. It's these guys that you know you hear about. They're bored.
Yeah. I mean, how many times many more nights you spend alone probably.
I was just getting
watching television and going to sleep.
Yep.
As opposed to being out.
Yeah, it's very, very lonely, and you sit and you're in a little coffin, your bunk, you know, and there's noise, and you know.
I mean, you're jolting around. It's probably hard to sleep.
And you're not eating right. You're not sleeping right, and it takes its toll on your body. It takes a toll on your mind.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time alone.
Right.
You know, people think, oh, but you're I'm focused.
Yeah. Yeah.
I sit there and I've got a lot of time to think. You know, and I've got a lot of time to miss people. And I've got a lot of time to king of all bad decisions. And I get to think of my bad life choices of what, you know, I always say it's a bad choice coming out on the road, you know. Picked a bad day to stop sniffing glue, Eric, you know. Picked a bad day to
So the bridge
be on tour.
To wrap this up, what is on tap for you? Because yes, you've announced your retirement of and I believe that for about 20 minutes.
Yeah, I wouldn't believe it. You know, I'm gonna stay home.
But it has to be the right opportunity naturally.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay home, make some movies. I'd love to go on tour, but not right now. Yeah, I know.
For a break.
I know I'm going to be out there again somewhere, but it's destroyed my life, and I want to stay. And I want to stay home. We got some movies coming into town.
Yep.
I'm going to do some acting possibilities. I'm going to do some movie possibilities. Not like now. Here's what happens. What's going to happen?
You'll make your commitments.
I'm going to Karnak myself here. I'm going to make my commitment that I'm going to stay home. I'm going to make movies, and then somebody's going to call me up with
some mega tour
that's going to offer me more money than I can, you know.
Possibly.
And that's what always
down.
happens. And here's the joke on this. I started out small, with Black, and my money just kept getting bigger and bigger, and it was always a joke for me. It's like, well, what? How much? Oh, is that per diem a week? Oh no, that's what you're paying me. Now you better add some zeros. And it just and it just kept getting big, and it's gotten really good. So I make
right.
damn good money on the road,
right?
And that's what lures me back in.
Well, sure,
and
sure.
And that's the thing. I make good money on the road, or I'm sorry, I make good money making movies,
right?
But I'm going to be sitting there and I'm going to be humping, 100 foot of 4/0, 100 pounds.
Right.
I'm 50 years old. My shoulders are wore out from throwing. And I'll throw 100 here and 100 here, and I'll carry around. I do it. You guys have seen me. Don't laugh. And, but in the summertime, and you're doing that for 16 hours a day, it wears on you.
I bet.
Or I could be standing there changing strings with myself, thinking about, man, I should just walk to catering now, maybe, and get some food,
That's the hardest decision you have all day.
Yeah, oh, look, there's Lemmy, let's go say hi to Lemmy,
right, right.
Oh, look, there's Nikki Sixx. Hey, man, it's seeing your heroes, or I could be sitting there. So it just depends on what I want to do. Movies are my future. Being a stagehand here in town's in my future. Possibly somewhere down the line,
my prediction:
someone's going to throw me some money.
April 2nd, 2019. Within 4 to 6 weeks, he'll be announcing that he's headed back out on the road. That's my prediction. And with that, I'm going to wrap it up, buddy.
You got it, man.
Thank you so much. It was awesome.
No problem.
And this was like the yin to the yang. Our first one was rip roaring and fun, beyond fun. But this one we got down to the brass tacks, and learning about your travels overseas is kind of what I wanted to get into.
Yeah,
and just experiences of what you've done in 20 years. And
that's not all of them.
Oh yeah. Oh well, you'll be back.
Let's break out the vodka, and I'll tell you more stories.
We'll do it again, buddy.
All right. Cheers,
Salute.
Salute.
Thank you.
Wait, hang on.
Good night.
Good night.